Good morning, everyone. Linjan Machita, how are you, gentlemen? All right. I would like to thank this opportunity that I've been given to run through the topics with you. I told the ladies when they told me that this event is going to be held on Black Friday that it's not going to be well attended because most of the men would have been sent by their wives to Edgar's, Woolworths, and other places to go and buy stuff for Black Friday. We are suffering, gentlemen, and we are suffering in silence. Events such as this one are meant to break that silence. We know, I'll tell you a story when I was younger and we were working in a construction company. There was a brother whom we used to call Butsem. He was very, very much older than us. Some of the people that we worked with, he was their father's peer. Then he used to tell us a lot of stories about how man should be man, what he does when he's at home and with his wife. Then one day, when we were coming from work, we passed by Sam's house. Then we were chilling there. We spoke until we reached a point whereby I don't know how it came about. Then his wife told us that no, when he sleeps, this one. He doesn't do anything. He sleeps at 8 o'clock, he would be asleep. So we realized that when we have got opportunities to speak with each other or to speak to each other as men, we do not express the sufferings that we go through. We pretend that all is well, and we pretend, maybe from a background's point of view, that we are the men. You remember that we were taught not to cry when we were young. Men don't cry. So we lie to each other most of the times, and we make up stories so that we appear men. It worked very well for our fathers and our grandfathers because at that time, due to certain norms and cultures, women were very submissive. Women did not challenge men. Then there was a regime in the 80s that spoke about equal rights. It escalated to more than equal rights. It became gender equality. Then now nobody is talking about gender equality. Nobody is now equalizing. People are now talking about gender-based violence. And gender-based violence, the word on its own, when it's mentioned, it's stereotypic of words like African. If somebody says you are an African to you, you feel that you are being insulted because it resonates with poverty. Gender-based violence on its own. When somebody says we are talking about gender-based violence, nobody ever thinks that we are going to be talking about men who are being beaten. It's always gives us a picture of a woman being beaten, not a man being beaten. But in most households, we know it is things like religion and other social cultures that have taught us that women are the weaker sex. They are called the weaker sex. No? But in reality, we know that women are stronger than us. How many of us can walk 5 kilometers with a 20-liter full of water on their heads here? Most probably none. So we know that women are stronger than us. We know that people have been held with certain parts of the body and they could not even breathe. We know what happens when the doors are closed. We know people are being beaten. We know people are being emotionally abused. We know that abomakoti bethu, your wives, drink and you are hiding it. We know all these things. But we know that when you are with us, you act as if they are these weak women that you ride over. You don't. We know that. This is the platform whereby we give you an opportunity to say, my brothers, I'm being beaten. What should I do? The problem with bottling up this is that what we are talking about now, men's mental health, is related to depression. A lot of men are depressed and they are not showing it. The next time we know about it, it's either it's somebody who will be reading a eulogy at a memorial service, or will be reading in the social media that so-and-so has hung himself. Because there is a lot. Right now we're going into December. Christmas clothes, food for Christmas, support for the woman's parents, support for your parents, support for your sister's children. Your sister's children are going to secondary school next year. It's also demanded from you. Some of us are not working. You spend the whole day looking for money. You are so tired. When you get into bed, it's demanded that you go more than one round. And all those things weigh us down in silence. Those are the things that we need to talk about. What is it that we need to do? Is gender-based violence something that is directed only at women, or is it a two-way street? Those are the things that we need to speak about today and come out in the open, maybe informed from this gathering. Something might be done about it. Maybe a relief might come. A lot of us are so clever because we know that physically they are masculine. Obviously, they will be beating up women. But physical abuse is better than emotional abuse. Most of us are emotionally abused. When we want to express the difficulties that we meet along the way there, our expressions are met with questions like, imali rent isikwanile, is rent money enough now? That you might be talking about how somebody who was supposed to pay you did not pay you, how you worked and you were not paid, and things like that. So we need to speak out so that I'm informed from this gathering. Maybe there might be programs that might be put into place as a relief. I don't want to be too long. We are going to have my brother, Comrade Ngabuto Mabena, is going to speak about migration. That is one part that is going also, that has been weighing on us, because once you are married or once you are having a live-in partner, if that partner is arrested, you need to, for not having papers in a foreign country, you have to cough out money and pay for it. Some of our wives actually are thieves. They are pickpockets. They are shoplifters. When they are arrested, it is us who have to pay for that. It is us who have to look for money and bail them out. There is a lot that is related to living with a person of an opposite gender. The problem is that if you are the one who is in trouble, you have to fend for yourself. You have to phone Leah from jail, and he will come and help you. The woman might decide to go on with their lives while you are in jail. You understand? I think what I'm speaking about resonates with a lot of people, especially in a foreign land. So my brother, Comrade Mabena, is going to explain to us the problems that we meet as migrants in relation with GBV. And then we are going to break into breakaways. The topics are listed there. Then we are going to come back and report back what we have resolved from breakaways. Our thematics are listed there. Then we are going to have a presentation from my brother Mbonisi on mental health itself from a medical point of view as well. What is it that we need to do to reduce the effects of of mental health? Then we are going to have a question and answer session. I know there are a lot of questions boiling, and we need answers. Let's help each other answer that. I think if Comrade Nyati is going to be here on time, he's going to tell us about sexual reproduction health. We have seen a lot of concoctions laid out in the streets in Hillbrow, Berea and Yeovil. The Nigerians also mix it with gin and all kinds of beer that we resort to help ourselves to perform better in bed, because that is part of the exit point where a lot of abuse comes from. If you start not to perform like you used to when you were still girlfriend and boyfriend, there are too many questions. It's either you are now getting it from somewhere or you are not man enough. The whole world has to be told that you are not man enough. Are those concoctions good for our health? Let me not be too long. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Let's hope we are going to enjoy the session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Advocate Nlea. The people that wrote the program, they never mentioned titles. So please forgive me if I'm to call you with a name that you don't resonate with. I think just to break the ice, so that when you get to the question and answer session, we all know who we are speaking to. So I think maybe if the gentleman can just one by one, we stand up and we introduce ourselves and which organization that you represent, so that we know who's part of us here in the audience. I'll start from the gentleman on my left here.
My name is Ali Dua. I'm director of the organization called LIFA. It's Light of Hope for Africa, but representing my community.
Representing Malay community. Thank you very much, Lashib. Good sir? Sir? Sir Joamba. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Mbonisi Sibanda. Yes, I'm not representing any organization, but I'm more into health.
Oh, okay.
My name is Mohammed. Representing Abalo organization.
Leadership.
O'Brien Pagati from Muka Project, based in Hillbrow, a theatre organization dealing with abantwana besikolo.
Okay.
I'm Alex Banda. I'm just a spectator. I was just invited also.
Now we invite you.
Sanibona, Mabuto Mabena, African Diaspora Foundation.
Sanibonani, mina Mbuyiseni Moyo, and just
I'm also in the I'm Ishmael. I'll be doing media here, just recording our session
Alright.
from Clear Virus to Media.
Oh, thank you very much. I think we've already seen no advocate in there. Just stood up. If ever you have a problem and you need legal advice, even if you're arrested, I think is the go-to man to come and assist you. I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to invite Comrade Mapena to come and speak to us about the issues of migration. Abanye bambiza ZTP, as is affectionately known. Comrade Mapen.
Thank you so much, Comrade Program Director. Sanbonani Lonke, greetings everyone. Thank you to women in diaspora and the Nobuhlevich Foundation for organizing in this section. Advocate in Leia, thank you so much. He has already outlined the reasons why we are speaking about migration. He's wearing a nice suit. Thank you, Advocate. We need to congratulate you on that. It's clear that you have a woman at home that dresses you up every morning. We are in the middle of the World Cup. I'm wearing a sports t-shirt, Senegal. We are still hoping that it is going to win its second match after losing the first match. And we still believe that all African teams will qualify to the next round. The issue of migration is an issue that affects all of us, particularly men, because when your kids cannot go to school because they are not documented, when your child is writing matric, cannot register to write matric because they are not documented, or when they manage to write matric but cannot collect a matric certificate and further their studies because they are not documented, it affects a man in the main. When your wife or girlfriend gets arrested for being in the country undocumented, you are called in to assist, and there's no way you can assist. It affects your mind. When your wife or girlfriend goes back to DRC, Malawi, goes back to Zimbabwe for Christmas holidays, and is using buses, gets abused at the border because they do not have correct documents, it affects you. We are told that conductors are raping our women at the border. You know, if you have traveled on a public bus, you will know that there is a section, a place where conductors sleep or an alternative driver sleeps. We are told they are now using that space to rape our women, those that would not be having correct documents, to say, no, you don't have to pay us money to get you 90 days or so, or even to assist you to cross without a document. Women are abused at the port of entry. These are our sisters, these are our wives, and when they are abused, it affects us mentally as men. So the issue of migration, therefore, becomes king. But as you know, the issue of migration has been linked with the high rise of unemployment. We've seen the levels of unemployment are going up in South Africa, thanks to COVID and thanks to neoliberal policies and ESCOM, which we are not talking about in the public discourse, but we isolate the issue of documentation to say you cannot grant documents to migrants because a lot of South Africans are not working. We have seen what the Department of Labor and Employment has done in terms of coming up with a migration policy, which they want to implement, and they introduce a quota in terms of who should be employed. We always speak about the holders of ZEP, which I think we will not deal with that today. But we did, as the African Diaspora Forum, we were at some point thought that a breakthrough was there when we started participating as way back as in 2015 in reviewing, when the government was reviewing the white paper on international migration as adopted in 1999. The white paper as adopted in 1999, all of us understood or still understand that it is Eurocentric. It does not advance Pan-Africanism. It excludes black people in the main in working in South Africa. But we know there's a history in this country. All of us in our countries, we have relatives that came to work under what was called the Wenela. The apartheid state was recruiting cheap labor within what we today call the SADC region, people to come work in South Africa. And when the white paper on international migration was then adopted in 1999, it excluded people of low skill for them to make, for it to be easy for people to apply for permits. It only afforded created better conditions for someone coming from New Zealand, Australia, and elsewhere to be documented in South Africa, but excluded people that work what we call low-skilled jobs, whether domestic worker, drivers, and so on and so on. So when the review started, and we were indeed invited to participate, we thought we had made a breakthrough when it was then adopted. The white paper was gazetted in 2017, white paper on international migration, which amongst others recognized the need to document migrants, particularly within the SADC region, who are of low skill. It spoke about granting what is called the SADC a work visa to a person who works as a domestic worker, a person who works maybe at a spa as a packer, and so forth. It spoke about granting a business visa for someone that is selling vegetables in the streets at a pre-tax rank, or someone renting a chair in a salon in Hillbrow. It then recognized also that there are people who move across the borders, who are doing cross-border trade, who, when they get to the port of entry, they are given days. By the time they are done with their business, they are then blacklisted because we will have overstayed. So some of us men who are in this workshop today, one or the other might be having a relative or your wife or your girlfriend whose days who overstayed and then was declared undesirable. And part of the problem which people, why they then get declared undesirable, is precisely because a person will be coming to visit, they then send their passports to be stamped, and you know that most passports are then stamped under a string, a fake stamp, and then you have serious challenges. So we are a man, your kids are having this challenge of trying to clear the undesirability which was granted at the port of entry by the Department of Home Affairs. These are some of the issues that contribute to our mental health as men. I know that after me, a health expert is going to speak more on these issues, but mine is simple to highlight. So when the white paper on international migration was then gazetted in 2017, recognizing or making all these proposals that I've spoken about, the last one being that cross-border trade visa, recognizing that our economies within the SADC region are informal in nature, so you needed to give people that. But we are seeing, after 2021, the reversal of the gains that we thought we achieved. If we analyze carefully the ANC policy conference, which happened mid-year, it then seeks to reverse that and bring in a new policy on migration. And one of the proposals that they are making, because you know that over years, you had people coming from all over. When you get married, you get either citizenship or permanent residence permit to be in South Africa, or you apply for a spouse visa on the basis that your wife is South African or your wife is permanently resident in South Africa. But the new proposal now seeks to take out that, to say the issue of marriage should not be linked to documentation. So if your wife is South African, you are striking with a permit, you have your kids here, it certainly contributes to your mental health, because you are worried that you might be leaving your kids behind, and how are your kids going to survive. So these are the issues that affect us men on the question of documentation. But of course, you cannot speak about these issues without speaking about the nature of our economy and the colonial boundaries. If you check, all of us here, the majority of us for that matter, we have roots in South Africa. The borders divided families. If you go to Mpumalanga, you have the Swati on the other side, the Neswatini, and on this side, they are one family, but they are divided by a border. If you go to Lesotho, same thing. If you go to Bedbridge, the vendor this side, the vendor that side, divided by a border. If you go to Northwest, the same thing. In our case, if you go to Bulilima in Plumtree, the Kalanga on that side of Botswana, we are on this side of Zimbabwe. And you recall that an area in Swazi, in Bulilima, I think it was around 1996, where the chief that side in Botswana said, no, these are my people, and they documented them, they moved to Botswana. You go to Binga, that area, Victoria Falls, on the other side of Zambezi, it's one family, the other families on this side. So we are related. Families were divided by these colonial borders. Instead of then beginning to integrate these families post-liberation, because we waged the struggle together. We are talking of today, I'm glad that the nephew of our hero Untuta is here. You remember that he had joined the African National Congress, and we have many comrades or Abadalabetu from the SADC region that were involved in the African National Congress. In fact, one of the people that started Catering Workers Union is from Malawi, was a trade unionist. He was from Malawi. But today, the people of Malawi are being excluded. We now create right-wing formations, Operation Dudula, that go around chasing black people in the name of people being in South Africa, whether they are documented or not, just being in South Africa. That is a problem. So that's the bad side, which you don't want to hear about it, but that's the bad side of capitalism, which you must dismantle. Because one thing, if we are to deal with the question of mental health from a migration point of view, is to begin to say, how do we reunite our families, our communities, the reunion agenda, so that we are not affected by the issues of documentation. Instead, all of us should be focusing on how do we ensure that our region, the entire region, SADC region, is industrialized. How do we industrialize the entire continent so that a South African can go and live in the Lilongwe, earn the same salary. As I conclude, the Department of Labor and Employment always speaks about the distortion in the labor market. You will get a truck driver in Malawi. earning an equivalent of 2,500 rands. Comes, works in South Africa, earns something like 15,000 rands. And certainly this truck driver will leave Malawi and come and work here. We have an educator, a teacher in Zimbabwe, who earns equivalent to 2,000 rands. We have a domestic worker in South Africa who earns something like 4,000 rands. So you then think it is better for me to leave teaching in Zimbabwe and come and work in South Africa. So this distortion in terms of salaries across the region also create this problem of migration. It is this issue that we need to deal with as part of a reunion agenda if we are to deal with mental health. As I sit down during the week with a lady, she came in 1994 in South Africa. She moved with a South African man immediately when she arrived in 1994. They have 3 kids together. The first one is 27 years today. The second one is 25. The other one is 17. Unfortunately, the father passed on in 2009. These kids are born in South Africa, Northwest. They have no birth certificate. So if you're a young man of 25, you are born in South Africa, you have no birth certificate, it affects your mind. So these are the issues that I thought I needed to highlight that affect men, the issues of migration when we talk about mental health. So the way forward, therefore, is that it is important that these organizations that are here must engage with the South African organization and other progressive organizations to deal with this issue of mental health linked to the question of migration. I didn't see Comrade MC, the item on lunch here. So I guess after my presentation, we are now going for lunch. So let me not take your time. Then for you to spend 10 minutes of lunch, let me sit down. Thank you so much.
The issues of lunch leadership is going to be addressed. It's going to be addressed. Thank you very much, Comrade Mapena, for such a lovely presentation. And as Comrade Mapena said, that the organizations that are here, but I think what is important is, while the organizations are engaging with the progressive movement, it's very important that we get our papers in order while we are engaging. Because if our papers are not in order, we end up resorting to criminal activities, do all these things, and the result is one. It's either you get arrested or you get killed. And when you get arrested and your papers are not in order, you don't even get bail. If I'm right, Advocate there, you don't even get bail for even a petty crime, for a bail of 500. But just because your papers are not in order, you can afford to get bail. And if your papers are not in order, issues of employment, who's going to employ you? End up working for the Pakistanis, getting paid 500 rand a week. And then at home, the wife is going to be making noise and all those things. That affects our mental well-being as men. So I think whilst the organizations are busy engaging with the progressive movements, let us also try and get our papers in order. I'm going to like to ask Advocate Leah to come back on stage so that we can address, if you can look at our program on page 2. There are 2 questions, the first 2 questions that are there. We are going to discuss them as a group here before we break away to the other Smolanyana groups that we're going to have to discuss the last 3 questions. So the last 2 questions, I think Advocate Leah is the one who's going to walk through us whilst we are dealing with the issues of lunch, as Comrade Mapena was asking. because it's very important that we look at these things through the other eye. I call it the eye of being a man of the house. When you get at home, we are demanding that the food must be cooked, the clothes must be washed. But as a man, there are other issues that you won't be participating on. It's not the duty of a wife to be always the one cooking, while you were at home the whole day. The wife is at work. When she comes, she has to cook for you, wash, prepare the children for school, and all those things. So I think it's such engagements that as gentlemen, we must have on a regular basis. Because having just one program and then it ends, it doesn't really assist, because we just speak about it here now and then we leave it at that. There is no follow-ups. Such workshops are very important that we have them on a regular basis. Okay. I think the item Comrade Mapena was worried about, lunch is going to be at 2 p.m. That is going to be after the sessions. So I think for now, while we are dealing with issues of how we're going to break away, Advocate in there, please, can you come up front? We deal with the first two questions that are on page 2 while we are dividing, so that when you are going to the groups, you know which group we belong to. Advocate there.
Let me not say that I'm an expert on how they want this done. You should remember why we are here. This session was organized by women. We are under attack. Sometimes we just give them things and say, Yayenza, do it. Because we are men, we are supposed to know how to do it. I'm asked to confuse you with these 2 sessions. It's a yes or no scenario before we break. So the first question is, anyway, I think I'm right to say the MC is also studying law, so we don't inundate me with questions legal. I'm not the only one. He's also a law student, so I think we'll be helping each other. Right, the first question says, your girlfriend visits you and you both agree to have sex, but she says only if we use a condom. You go ahead and have sex, but during intimacy, you decide to remove the condom and continue to have sex with her till you both come. Have you raped her or not? Right, I think the MC was not here. I've told them that you are also studying law so that they don't inundate me with questions legal and I become confused counsel. We are together here. We'll help each other. So our question number 1 says that your friend visits you and you both agree to have sex. But she says only if you use a condom. You go ahead and have sex. But during intimacy, you decide to remove the condom and continue to have sex with her till you both come. Have you raped her or not? I don't know whether it is proper for us to start from the fact that, is it the woman who says only if you use a condom, or do we agree to use a condom? Do we, I'm not used to this thing, I'm Kalanga. I'm not used to this thing of condoms, so I don't know, do you discuss whether to use a condom or not, or you wait for the woman to say it, or do you say I've bought a condom? Because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, women are the ones who buy the condom. So if it's the woman who actually says use a condom, Does she say that after I've bought the condom or before? You'll have to you you'll have to bear with me. Apart from before I started law, I did science at Bulawayo Polytechnic. I'm a scientist. 5 in every 1,000 people don't catch AIDS. If you are a certain blood type, you don't contract AIDS. So there are some of us who have been jumping in without for a very long time, you know. But anyway, let's not discuss that because it touches a nerve in other people. Let's understand this part first before we even discuss this question before us. Who says? I think Sage is going to help us. I saw his hands up. I've noted you, comrade. Who says let's use a condom? Is it you? Is it the woman? Do you agree? Because I suspect, from what I've always thought, is that when you go to the girl, or when the girl says she's coming, you buy the condom and keep it. So when is this point? My brother Sage, maybe you
My
you
question
can.
was just a very simple,
Yes,
just a small concern.
yes.
I think the question, the way it's formulated, it's about the people who are cheating, it's about the married people, or
No,
it's
not.
about the bachelors and so on. Because for a married person who's loyal to the wife, this question is not concerning him. The
Let-
very first thing.
Let's not skip that. We have a question where it addresses married people. But remember that nobody's born married. We all have been through that. So if you cannot
As we have passed that stage,
if
we
you
are all
cannot relate to it now,
yeah,
let it be in the past.
in the past.
Yes. My brother, my babe.
I think it's the issue of condom becomes number 2, but I think the whole concept is about our health,
Yes.
because unprotected sex might lead to one being infected, transmitted disease, sexual transmitted disease. So because you are not sure of your partner's status, even if you're a man, you can't just go there without knowing. I might know my own status, and my intention might be to spread. She might know her status, and she might be positive, and her intention is to spread. Because there's this talk that someone infected me years back, my duty is also to spread it to others. So if I then go without protection, not knowing her status, I become a victim. She's already a victim. So the issue, therefore, the issue of a condom or the issue of protection, firstly, it's based on the question of trying to prevent sexual transmitted disease. And then there's the second issue of pregnancy. To say if we are not using protection, this person might fall pregnant. And if she does fall pregnant, both of us who are not ready to accept that responsibility. Then the question would be how do we protect each other from this possible tool, and the question of condom comes in. So it's a discussion. Then if a person afterward agreed, whether it's her who then removes or it's me who then removes, it means I violated the agreement. Yes.
Okay. Now, before we even go past Brother Mabena, have you raped her or not? Let's say in this issue, in this analogy, they are saying that it is you who have removed the condom. Have you raped the person or not? Considering that, is rape only rape when it's nketamnyoro, like when it's when the condom has not been used? If you could put on a condom and have sex with a woman without her agreement, is that not rape? There is that question as well. But in this analogy, they want us to answer the question whether, in that case, if we removed the condom, have you raped the person or not?
Ndosi says he will answer for me on that.
All right. I'll recognize the MC, and then after that, my king,
Thank you very much,
Lute.
Advocate.
Yes.
I think the elders are shying away on an educative question, because there are a lot of people that have gone through such, and even if it's our cousins, young brothers, and all those things, what Comrade Mabena is saying, I understand it. What leadership is saying, I also understand this point of view. But for educational purposes, I think let us engage the question as it is. Don't put yourself in those shoes as if it's you who's doing it. The women are not here, our wives are not here. Let's engage the question for what it is, for educational purposes. To answer the question, it's rape if you remove a condom after an agreement has been made between you two that you are going to use a condom, and then because for some whatever reasons you want to feel the warmth better without the condom, and you decide to go in without it. As Comrade Mapela said, that you violated her rights, and which means it's rape. Because the agreement, the law of contract, there has to be consensus between the two of you. So the moment that element of consensus is no longer there on the initial agreement, which means the contract has been broken, which means that you have raped them. So if you remove a condom during the course, even if you report it or not, but you must just go around doing that you're a rapist. Thank you very much. They call it stealthing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yes.
It's called stealthing. I've recognized you, Brother Sage. Before I give Comrade Lute, we, without being too academic and also too legal counsel, let's be realistic. In most cases, here the reason why we removed women from this discussion is so that we could be frank with each other, and we could not. You remember when I introduced the topics here, I said most of the times we tell each other lies. I even told you the story of Brother Sam. Let's be realistic. Most of us never even agree with the woman that it's time for us to have sex. We actually get it first of all by force, and then as time as it advances, then you find out that the response of the woman is actually in tandem with what you have done. So that's the only time when you get settled that this might not be turned into a rape case. But like I hear my brother counsel there say, I'm not practicing as a lawyer in South Africa, so whatever you say here cannot be translated into a case. He is not yet practicing. So let's be free and speak as brothers. Some of us get it by force, and then later on, that's when you decide, you understand that the woman is actually interested, you know. And sometimes some of us, if I phone a woman or the woman phones me and says, I'm visiting, to me, what I'm hearing is not I'm visiting. I'm coming to have sex, so I've agreed. So also that is part of where we get it wrong. And we also believe that it is our right to control the use and the use of a condom. That's why I wanted to ask exactly who actually determines whether we're going to use a condom or not. I was standing on that platform to say who exactly, because I've known that it's men who control the use of a condom. If the man doesn't want, that's why it's the man who buys anyway. If you say to somebody like me, let's use a condom, I'll ask you, where is the condom? Because I would not have bought it. So are we going to use something that is not there? So those are the realities that we realize. May I have my king From Mabena's instruction, my king is going to actually elucidate how this thing works. Is it rape if you remove the condom when the woman is expecting you to be wearing a condom? We are not talking wives here, we're talking about a girlfriend.
Thank you for the opportunity, though I'm not someone who's academic in terms of this, but I'm the person who dwells on terminology. If I look at this paragraph itself, it's got too many versions that come up with. Very, very many versions that you can even imagine on this. Okay, now it says, your girlfriend visit you and you both agree to have sex, but she says only if you use condom. Okay, I'll stop there. It is a first time girlfriend, or it is a girlfriend that you have had sex with a couple times. Do you normally discuss to have a sex with your girlfriend who you know that she's a girlfriend? How does this whole thing start? So I think the question itself is confusing, number one, but we will dwell on it with its confusion for us to proceed. Now, there are many things that between a man and a woman actually happens. A no of a woman is a yes in most cases. If you have noticed that, you know what I mean? I will give you an example of myself. Me, I started sleeping with a woman when I was 14 years old. I have slept with more than 300 women in my life. Say, you understand? Not one first agrees. Not even one. I've slept with more than 300. Not one agrees. They all pretend to be refusing until you do. They say until you do. And when you are now in the middle of sexual mood, she says to you, make me pregnant. Make me pregnant. Because remember, when you start having sex, there is a change of language, a change of thinking, change of everything, activities and everything like that. So your mind goes somewhere else. So now the question itself, as I'm saying, if there was an agreement and a discussion about it, and you turn around and you remove a condom, what is your agenda behind, your attention behind of removing the condom? Without now proceeding, agreeing or debating with it, should we remove the condom? One is risky to yourself, as my comrade has said, because you are removing a condom to someone who you don't know he has statistics. Or even you, maybe you are the one that you want to spray. So the question itself, I find it a bit confusing and needs many different versions on it. And when it proceeds and it says you go ahead and have sex, but during the intimacy, you decide to remove the condom and continue to have sex with me until you come. Now, if you say until you come, so if I decide, because I'm experienced, I don't come in here. When I'm about to come on, I take it out. Is it the right
Temperature changes.
no, I will stand out. I will stand in here. Is it the right?
But Chief, sorry.
Wait, I'll give you it. I have noted you. I have noted you. Let him discuss from the way he understands it.
Because I did not come. Okay. Now, withdrawn.
Offside.
A rap, it only comes when something is forceful to someone who said no, and then you continue forcing yourself into that someone. With a condom or without a condom, is still there. It's my version, thank you.
Thank you very much. I liked that. I think council will agree with me. Rape is actually penetration, even if you use your finger to penetrate. If you penetrate into somebody's private parts without their permission, you have raped them. That's why you can even rape a boy. You can even rape a boy. So I'm not answering what Mambo Moyo has said there. I'm just saying that if the definition of rape actually talks about penetration, that you have come or you haven't come. I think also the women were spicing it up here when they said if you both come. It usually doesn't happen at the same time. Anyway, let's give the opportunity to my brother Sage. Yeah, fine.
Thank you very much, comrade. Some of the areas have been covered by my comrade.
Okay.
But at the point which I wanted to interject there, it was about when to come, what comes first is the semen. If there is a need of any disease or anything to go through, is that thing comes, it comes even you want to realize. The sperm comes later on. Contraction of the muscles and all those things, you feel that thing is nice. But what comes early is already is a goal.
It's done.
Yeah, the penalty will come after. Yeah. So that is the area I wanted to speak. Now the issue of the condom. For me, the way I'm thinking, my way, my view with this is like this. I think when you get involved with a woman, you must make sure that she's loyal to you, you're loyal to her. So that you can go for tests. Once you go for tests, the critical tests maybe HIV and these other ones go, because there's a lot of infection comes, STD, how you call it?
STD.
STDs are many. Others you can even contract them just from bathing or going to the, but that is not a problem. Because we can be, as you said, we are going through the process and it's so nice until that thing breaks, it breaks. It happens to us. You are in the game. The soccer boot goes out. Kick the ball, the ball and the boot, shoot, they go together. So, you will tell me that I hurt you? Or you will tell me what? Because the point is, when you said, let us use the condom, you were thinking about protection, avoiding sickness, pregnancy, maybe you are not prepared for that, and all those area of challenges. Now, the good way is to be really to be more protective is to go for test. And the most critical thing we are running away from is let's call it HIV and AIDS, to contract it. But so the other ones we can finish the 7, 7, 7, 11 used to be designed, we can sort them out easily. So you see, now I think the condom area here is still also another issue when we want to put it, because the only thing we avoid, we have in our mind about condom is only the sickness and the child. But the condom can break. And it always happens, I think all of you know. And sometimes that day, all the muscles are okay, your energies, you are on your 16, 18s. You kick the ball.
You kick the boot and
So,
My brother Sage,
yes.
have you raped her or not?
That's my point now. Is it gonna be a rape?
I've noted you, my brothers.
Is it gonna be
I'll
a
give
rape?
you an opportunity when he comes, but for now I'll deal with these people
Or
who
a
are on
rape is only
camera.
intentional, because when we were doing it, it was not intentional. And then it happens. So she will come out say, he raped me, and then she goes quickly, she ran to the police station, and they take the sample there, to the hospital, they take the sample, they check if there's any penetration, yes, but is there any liquid when they, yeah, it was a rape. Yes, I agree to have sex, but he removed the condom, or he breaks the condom. So what will be the case there? Because they will say, okay, let us check. The only thing they can check to say it was rape is when they will find out the liquid inside. My liquid inside.
But we
So
want
are
to
we going to
know,
call it rape?
we want to know from your point of view,
My point
Brother
of
Sage,
view.
have you raped her or not?
My point is, I didn't rape. I didn't rape because okay. Is the ball? If my intention is to kick the ball, and the boot goes together, is it gonna be what?
Red card.
Red card because I took out the boot. My intention was just to kick the ball.
We don't know there, but
No, we have to find a solution because we mustn't don't know because those are the cases are happening day and night outside there. You know, women are taking advantage.
it is the women who want to know that what are we thinking. So that's why we wanted
So that's why I'm saying
us
we have know.
to
Once you
answer
say
that.
You don't know. You must know. You must know. You must assist them.
All right,
Then
let me give an opportunity to our brother because he's on camera. My brother, what's your take? You have removed the condom after an agreement that you are going to use a condom. You decided, no, I'm not feeling anything here. And I'm losing my erection because of this plastic. You remove it. You as a man, don't speak for the woman. You as a man, do you think you have raped her or not?
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. Myself, I think the moment you do something without a agreement with your partner, that thing becomes a rape.
Okay.
That's my opinion, because you have to agree with them. So if you decide to remove it without any agreement, now it is a rape.
Okay. That's what my brother is saying. My brother from the Mukwa project. What is it?
Before I give my answer, you would say in law a verdict
Yes.
or something. But before that, I'm getting with this question. I want to ask in a layman's language.
Yes.
Yeah, from the streets there.
Yes.
So I'm getting confused because now it talks about. She says use a condom.
Yes.
And then you decide to remove it during that nice time.
Yes.
So my question is why does it have to go to the scene of rape? Why doesn't it stay in between the two of us about breaking our trust? You broke my trust. Why does it have to go far as rape?
The trust, the agreement is always between two people when sex is involved. When a third person comes in, it's either somebody has fallen pregnant or they are now screaming rape. So here the question is, do you think if she screams rape, she's right? Because you have already breached your contract by not sticking to it. And these things happen. These are women who drafted these questions. They are not doing it from nowhere. They know that these things happen. I've noted you, Comrade Ntutu.
Thank you,
Yes.
advocate.
Yes.
In this scenario, my victim will be no. I broke a trust, but I did not rape.
Comrade Ntutu, what's your take there?
I would like to echo his sentiment that, you know, sometimes it happens that, in fact, I've done it, you know, myself.
How many are you counting?
I've done it many times myself.
Yes.
That part. So I think for it to be rape, I believe it's too harsh. Unless if there's a discussion. discovery, if there's a discovery that maybe I infected the person, or that I infected the person, or especially when it comes to infecting the person with whatever STI, I believe that it's only rape when I've infected the person with, or got a pregnant without any plans. But to me, it feels like I broke a trust.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Comrade Tuta, it's not rape when somebody falls pregnant or is infected. There are people here on contraception.
Yes.
If you have sex with somebody on contraception and she hasn't agreed, it's rape. It's rape. So we are saying from your understanding, you have agreed. But now you have decided on your own, unilaterally, you have decided to remove the condom. Now going forward, you yourself as a man, do you believe that you have raped her? Because most of the times, you know, some of us, when we started this thing, when we look back now, we see that we were raping people. But we just kept it in our minds that, no, so-and-so, I raped so-and-so. Myself, I've got a problem with one of my cousins, because that's where I started. And I'm seeing now that that was rape, and there is nothing I can do it. But in my head, I actually, when I'm having a conversation with myself, I tell myself I raped her. But that is what they want us to say now. Even if it doesn't go as far as the police, do you agree that you have raped the person, or you think you haven't? You think it's actually your right to remove it without telling them? Before we go forward, let me welcome my brother who has just joined us. My brother, you have joined us in a session called The Men We Want, which is organized by Women in Diaspora Association together with Nobuhle VG Foundation. This is a men's section. As you can see, there is no woman here. We want you to say it as it is. Nobody is going to take anything out of here to the other people. So please be free to say anything. I would ask you to introduce yourself, then I'll continue and tell you what we are discussing now so that we can go forward.
Okay, my name is Swatch Mabare.
Okay, thank you. Right, we are having a discussion here. It's analogical. The analogy is that your girlfriend visits you and you both agree to have sex, but she says only if we use a condom. That's the condition. You go ahead and have sex, but during intimacy, you decide to remove the condom and continue to have sex with her till you both come. Have you raped her or not? That's the question that we're there. Unfortunately, we're not here. Most of my brothers have spoken out their minds. Some have said it's rape, some have said it's not rape. They think it's something that can be done by one party between the two people. I don't know, Comrade Ntuta, had you finished your part?
I think I was almost finishing, but I believe because of breaking the trust.
Yes.
Maybe that's why they call it rape, but it's breaking the trust.
Okay, my men, most of my men are saying it's not rape, it's breaking the trust. I don't know if there is a difference between raping a person and breaking the trust, because some of these things that we call rape, as we go along, are situations whereby somebody trusted you. You were telling her we are only friends. Then one day she visits, it rains. Then you end up sleeping with her. Now you want more because it's raining. You want to feel warm. Then you want to use her to feel warm. That is where some of these matters become rape. All right, I've noted Comrade Msipa, and then I've noted my brother Ngabuto afterwards. After Comrade Mabena, I'll give my new brother who has come in now. Comrade Msipa.
Comrade Advocate, Nkolele.
Yes, you can speak in whatever language.
Uma uzanginterpreta ngenzela ukuthi kuphume ama-points emfundweni.
Yes.
Isekisi is 50-50. Ungabona wena uyindoda usufuna ukuya yenza 100%. I think there's a problem there. Awuyazi sex. Uyabe udlwengula umfazi uma ungaqala ungena condom. Ungaqala ngecondom then suphakathi usulikhipha because awuyazi into oyenzayo. Into ebangela ukuthi thina amadoda sigcine sesikhipha icondom sex is because abanye bethu sifuna ukudlala umdlalo we-sex ngeyi-one. But umdlalo we-sex is about two people. Omunye la uyabuya la uyabuya liyahlangana phakathi so that you feel. Mina ngilethamsanqa ubempilweni yami ngalala lamantombazana amathathu. Now I'm 46 years. No, 3 girls. Because why ngalala lamantombazana ayi-3? Because our relationship yayilasta. Because that's the sense is sex. We really enjoyed it. So there was no need for me to go out there and look for other girls so that ngiyenze any sex. Wonke lingaziyo mina lizakala imboni ngijola because mina alizakala imboni even le girlfriend because I enjoy my wife. I still my sense is sex one of the best sex ever because mangayenzi mina mangayenzi ngingathandana nomuntu ngingakalali naye ngiyambuza ukuthi are you ready for me and you sense sex? If she says no, angiyenzi because ngiyamamela. Then if she says I'm ready, then sesiqala umdlalo wethu kahle then ngiyambuza ukuthi ukholisile na engathi no ngiphambanise kuphi then engibuze ukuthi uphambanise lapha ngithi I apologize but next time I think is an improver from there. I think most of our daughter were very selfish because we don't want to listen for abafazi or these women ukuthi bafila njani like this woman ufila like urepiwe because ukhiphe icondom sivumelene ukuthi ungakhiphi siyenzisebenzisa icondom. Then mina sengifuna ukushuta like into ethikhonywa ngubaba ukuthi sengifuna ukungena kuma 16 ukuthi mina sengifuna ukuya ngipower cine sengathi umuntu ufuna ukukhamba just because wena usufuna usubuya manje ukuthi usufuna uyaqeda umdlalo. So madoda isex is about abantu ababili asizwane nini senze kuhle ukuze singenzi all this problem. Mbuzo omunye wakho ukuthi usu ready for sex then everything will go well. I think for now.
Okay. Let me interpret quickly for those who have not understood. My brother Patrick there is saying he's speaking from a man from the platform of a man who has slept with only 3 women at 46 years old. I wish and I envy him. I wish I could say that. But as far as I'm concerned, maybe we need to add 3 zeros. Right. He says that sex has to be 50-50. If you find yourself wanting to go 100%, then you are doing it alone. You need to agree. It has to be in agreement between the 2 people. First, you have to ask your partner if they are ready. When they are saying they are ready, do it the way that both parties are satisfied. He says that with sex, one comes from one side and the other one comes from one side, and you meet in the center. It has to be always like that. He says from his experience, you have to ask your partner whether they've enjoyed it. If they haven't enjoyed it, you ask where it was lacking so that next time you could make amends. I don't know whether there is a next time if it wasn't enjoyable. So I'll leave that as a question for another day. Yeah, we are starting to enjoy the discussion. Please keep it there. I've noted you, Comrade Duta. So I've noted my brother there. Let's give him a chance before I give it my brother Mabena an opportunity so that at least we can have a new voice and hear what my brother is saying.
Okay. Maybe since you started wrong, I might take you back a little bit telling the truth. They just try to teach people probably what they heard. Because let us give us an example, probably on our teenager age. How did you start to have sex with your girlfriend? Did you talk to her? Did she agree? We use force, but it never be rape. So like, if I heard you correct, my brother, when you said now probably you can start to think, say it was rape. Me, I don't think like that. I just think like, no, this is how we grew in that circle. It was fine. And our girls, they never take it as a rape. But now because they are hearing this voice that is coming to say, no, it's rape, it's rape, it's rape. They are now using it as a weapon. You can have your girlfriend, probably you ask her, I don't know, or maybe you can see that she's agreeing to do that, but later along the way she can just change her mind and go and report you. Now it become to be a rape. You see now, so it's now it's a problematic actually, because they will think like you raped her, and the people they are talking like you raped, they didn't look at where exactly it started. So I think it needs some other level of trying to address it, because women now, that's how they use it as a weapon, honestly speaking. GBV, I personally am somebody who like also to interact with women, trying to understand. I think I try to join more than 10 organizations with GBV, and all of them, I just realize these people, they're not honest. They're just shouting at TV and talk, and the people, they think that's what they feel. It's not like that. Because they will tell you that we don't want to accommodate you as a man because you are most likely to be one of the perpetrators. That's not the case. We should talk about it. You must understand where we come from because we are African, we are black people. But you, the way now you are addressing it, it's like we are using it because you just find that the platform, or I don't know what can I say for that. They're just using it as an opportunity, you know. Even if you listen to those on TV, you can see that yes, they are talking, and the president said 36 billion to GBV and so, but there is no reality there. There are those people who just want to use. So I have a problem with rape. I have a problem because most of you here, if you want to be honest, as you said, we are men. We know your first girlfriend, when you are around 14, 15 years, you never negotiate with them. You use force, if you want to be honest. But why she didn't report? So now can you think, you say, all these girls, they were raped? No, it is where we come from. Because let us say another culture probably of whites. A girl of 15 years can go and stay with a boyfriend. They can say now she visited us, they can stay, have sex every day, there's no problem, because it is their culture. But to us, we don't do that. So when I want to have a sex with my girlfriend at the age of 14, 15, what did I do? I use force. And it's not a problem. So I'm just trying to say, guys, we need to understand that otherwise we're just accusing ourselves.
All right. My brother there is saying that we are actually perpetrating what we are supposed to be fighting. We are not supposed to be saying it's a rape. We are supposed to say women are out there to have us. That is the reason why we have a platform like this. We want to know what we also want to help women who are championing this GBV agenda, or agenda, to redefine some of these terminologies. Like you are saying that you have got a problem with the word rape itself, that it's used mostly to champion GBV agendas, not because it's exactly what's happening, but what they want us themselves, what they want us to say is, are we in agreement with them that some of these things are rape, or we are not? Then maybe they could relook their definitions of rape. But then let's be, I'm wrapping up now. We will be going to the second question. The people that I'm going to give the last round now are wrapping up. It is very difficult, especially for the second round, to keep the condom on. We know that. So sometimes we have heard that people have used, I've heard sayings like, what's the use of using a condom, because you can use it in the first round, then in the second round you go nketamnyoro or you go direct. So some people have said that it doesn't help anyway to using a condom, because in the second round you'll use a condom. Right, so I'm about to wrap up. We are noting what men are saying. So I've noted my brother Mabena, I've noted my brother there, I've noted the MC. Before I give my brother Mabena an opportunity, I've seen one of my other brothers, my real brother, has come in now. Please introduce yourself, sir, and tell us which organization you are coming from. If you have just been invited, then please tell us whether you've just been invited or you are representing any organization. We are discussing the men we want. Women have said that we should say it all so that they can see how they can guide us to be the men they want. Those are the women from the Women in Diaspora Association, together with the women from the Nobuhle VG Foundation. Over to you. Yebo. They didn't hear. Thank you very much there to our brother Mkhululi Chimoyo. We want to hear from him. He's staying with my sister-in-law. His wife is my sister-in-law because I'm his brother. So we want to hear what exactly is happening there. Here we are discussing, we are not discussing that woman that you left home. We are discussing a scenario where we've got a girlfriend. A girlfriend, your girlfriend visits you and you agree that you have sex, but she says only if we use a condom. Then you go ahead and have sex, but during intimacy, you decide to remove the condom and continue to have sex until both of you come. So the question is, from your point of view, have you raped her or not? So to close up, you will be the last person. I'll give you an opportunity to be thinking of an answer. From your point of view as a man, have you raped the girl or not? All right, we'll start with my brother.
I said I'm now covered. You can speak.
Oh, you are now covered. I'll give over to my brother.
Okay, thank you. In fact, as you said earlier, I want to say, since this questionnaire has been just created from the lady, we just transfer to us.
Yes.
But still, we just go through it. But at a certain point, I also been confused, because when we term condom, it is being used in different ways. Condom can also be used as a family planning method, whereby married people can use it in a marriage. But also certainly here they said if your girlfriend
Yes.
visit you,
Yes.
where we are now emphasizing on it. But then if you look at our relationship setups, of course it might be different, because sometimes, like here in South Africa, a girlfriend, somebody can have a girlfriend while there are even kids inside the relationship.
Yes.
But in other nations, they are not allowed to have a relationship and having kids while they term it just like a girlfriend, boyfriend. So here it might be a problem, meaning to say, how are we terming this kind of relationship that we are talking about?
Sorry, my brother, let's not discuss the question.
Okay.
Let's take the question as is. I don't believe that in countries that these days we are global citizens. You don't want to tell me that in Malawi there is no contraception except condoms. So you can have a girlfriend in Malawi and sleep with them without a condom, if they are on pills, if they are in injection or anything. Please just keep your imagination there. Don't go too far, because you are going to question the question itself. The main point is, do you think that is rape or not? What you would have done?
Then it's not a rape.
It's not. My brother had given you an opportunity. Please finish off before the MC comes.
Okay, sorry, man. Maybe it should be like a comment or a question, I'm not sure.
Yes.
And I'm sort of like taking you again back. Because you said you have your girlfriend maybe along the way, or maybe for the second round, you decide to remove the condom. What did you call it?
No, let's not restructure the question. The question says it's in the first round, but that was just a comment, yes.
Okay, even if the first round.
All right.
So my problem there again, I heard as if you said this question was imposed by women to us.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, then it's now again a problem. It's like we want to satisfy her, we want to give her the answer that she's.
No. We are not.
Okay, so if
We don't want to give her the answer. I'm saying you personally, answer it personally. Don't answer for me. I've already answered for myself. Answer for you. From your point of view, do you think that is rape or not?
it's not gonna be rape.
It's not going to be rape. Thank you, my brother. Comrade Lindani?
Can I explain there was
No, it's fine, my brother. It's not going to be rape. It's not going to be rape, yes. I'll give my MC an opportunity there.
I think there's another standing question that you asked.
Yeah.
Who's supposed to raise the issue of a condom
Yes.
when you are having sex? I think it's the responsibility of a man to buy the condoms and have them. But it's the responsibility of the woman to ask, do you have a condom? And then if you say yes, then you are going to use it. As leadership now say that it must be 50-50. Because sometimes when you get into the mood, the blood runs to the small head and then the big head doesn't think here. So I think also the women must also play a part in the issues of using a condom. But if the women insist that if we are going to have sex, we must use a condom, then removing it, comrades, I still stand my ground that it's rape. Thank you very much. That's my submission.
Okay.
And a lot of rapists, yeah.
I think when we answer, we shouldn't even take the women's answers into consideration. We shouldn't even think what women are thinking. They know what they term that. Let us talk about ourselves. Personally, do you think you have raped a person or not? That is the whole question, because they want, from our answers, they want to inform their way forward. Because I think they also feel that they've been misinterpreting the whole issue about this rape thing. Maybe this is an opportunity for us to actually detect what will be called rape next. Maybe if most of us say it's not rape and we give it the rationale that it deserves, that it's not rape, then maybe going forward they might change from there. But some of us are actually shying away from either saying it's rape or not. We are in the center. We know. That's why I was saying that sometimes you do it right in the first round, all through with a condom as per agreement. But the second round, it will be even difficult to put on the condom. These are realities. These are realities. Like my brother was saying there, from 300 encounters, you now know what works and what doesn't work. So sometimes if you know that the second and the third round you are not going to use a condom, why waste time anyway in the first round using the condom? Going forward, that's why you end up removing it, because you know that going forward you won't have you won't use it. All right, we are going to have our last speaker who just came in now. Let's hear what he says before we go to the next issue. My brother, can you just point the camera at him? You can even speak in any language to be clear. If you think maybe sticking to a foreign language might curtail your points.
I think I will be straight to the point.
Let us first look at the meaning of rape. What is rape? If we then demystify the meaning of rape, then it will then lead us to, I think, a collective behavior which is so as you say, it will be like when you're sleeping with someone and then you agree what you don't get people in condom, then there is no rape.
You agree to use the condom. The woman actually suggests the using of the condom first. Then when in the middle of the whole thing, you decide only you remove the condom. So do you think that it's you have raped the woman or not? Because she has stuck to her agreement that we are using a condom. But along the way, only you decide, let me remove this thing. I'm not feeling anything.
Rape is forced penetration.
Yes.
It's not irremovable.
I like that. So are you saying that the penetration was on agreement, there was no force?
They don't look at
what happened after?
what happened after.
Yes.
Because they can even argue with a condom to best during sex. I can myself say, "Kumi, you understand?" And then everyone who has ever used a condom will know there are possibilities of it. So I think it answers all. If there is an agreement on penetration, then the deal is on.
I like that because the rape is defined as a forced penetration into the private parts of another person. So my brother Mkhululi is saying that no, if on the onset you agreed that you are going to have sex and the penetration was allowed, what happens during might just be a part of the operation to make it nice. It might not be anything to do with all right, with that we wrap up our first question. Please prepare for the second question. The second question, we are just going to do it. We are not going to wait for people to raise their hands. We are just going to go from one man to another so that we finish quickly and then we can break away. I've got your numbers here that I need to give you for the breakaway. I think I'll ask them to give us lunch before we go for breakaway. These women, I used to have a friend who was a very well-known politician, Comrade Dr. Dumiso Dabengwa. He used to make fun when he speaks about eating that he eats only when his wife Makumalo is feeding her dogs. She doesn't forget him. So these women forget us when they think about food. They think we are machines. So we are going to eat first and then we go for a breakaway. So the second question is, I don't know whether I'm going to see that without my glasses. Sorry, those who are used to me know that I haven't been on glasses, but it was about time. Right. The next question is, you find out that your wife is exchanging nude pictures with another man. Do you leave her or not? My brother Sage.
Yes.
Yeah. Here is yours now. Yeah, you were speaking about people not having girlfriends. Now it's your wife. She's exchanging nude pictures with another man. Do you leave her or not? You know the way
My answer is short.
The way you were so outright and fast with your answer reminds me of one joke where an old woman, when an old man was being asked, they said there are two questions. We want you to choose A or B. Say the first question is, do you want to live with your wife for the rest of your life? Before they went to the second answer B. He said B. B because the first one doesn't work. So Brother Sach doesn't even want to wait for his chance.
You have time to take the picture, to send it, to get it, which means you have made up all your mind.
Now, let's take into consideration the fact that the pictures might not even be hers. She might be just exchanging nude pictures. But with a man, I don't know about those people with wives. I don't have a wife, but I understand that people's wives are other men's friends as well. So we'll start from there. I will start with my king there, then I'll come to my brother. My king, Mambo.
Thank you for that opportunity. Now, here comes when a woman is actually sharing nude pictures with another woman. Also that it needs a very deep thinking and different versions. Sometimes that woman, she doesn't get attention that she should be getting from the man. She's just flirting around. It's not that she's doing it for wanting to be with that man, but because of you as a man, you do not give her that attention for her to play with nude pictures and whatnot. And also, you must remember, in relationships, you need to create a room whereby you are friends. I think it also works. And then what is an attention or the cause for her to be actually sending those nude pictures to that way?
So are you saying you cannot leave her for that?
No, I cannot leave it that. I need to know the root cause of it. You might be the root cause because of not giving me attention.
Thank you very much. My brother there is saying it might be, maybe they are studying biology together in another course. Maybe you are always dressed. So she wants to see nude people, and that man is providing nude pictures. But let's hear what my brother Mapena is going to say about this.
When all of us are seated here and this question gets posed, the obvious answer is that I will live here. Because we are all men. But the reality then is strike that it has happened to you because you think it will not happen to you. When it happens to you, you might not just walk away. I agree with him that you might want to understand the root cause of that. But also, we are coming from a tradition where these issues happen in our society. You will have a chief presiding over such a case that Mrs. Mapena was caught sleeping with the so and so. The so and so is called before a chief. You are fine. You go back and live together. It's a society that we come from. It is not easy just to walk because there are a lot of considerations before you leave. There are children involved. And the other issues, investments and so forth. And you begin to say, if I then leave over because my wife was sharing nude pictures with someone who's overseas, they have not physically met. What does that mean? So all these things come into play in the world of social media now. People can share, but they have not physically met. I have seen, like I say, coming from a village, I witnessed cases where someone will jump in someone's yard and they are caught. And the matter is settled by the elders, and they will continue living together till death do them apart. It's an individual decision that one has to think deep about it before walking away. But of course, there are instances where you simply find someone, a message from a lover, you walk away. You will be looking for an excuse. If I'm looking for an excuse to leave my wife and I find her sharing nude photos, that's fair enough. I'll simply walk away because I'm looking for an excuse. But if it's something that you never thought and you're not looking for an excuse to leave, you will certainly want to call for a family meeting, the uncles, to say this is what has happened. Finally, which I think we as men we need to talk about. In the recent days, we've been seeing nude photos or videos circulating. There's it Martha in Zambia.
Yes.
There was also another one in Hebrew. That I got to my residence now, armed with my phone, because the security called me that we saw another man getting into your house. I then got there prepared to record a video. A real man does not do that. You can't record it. Even if you find your wife sleeping with someone, they're nude as they are. A real man would not record. It's safer to simply walk away, find a way of dealing, because you can't circulate the nakedness of the mother of your child. And you are standing there as a man, mother, don't move, you are recording a video. A man doesn't do so. Thanks.
Thank you very much, my brother.
I know the MC will not agree.
I'm learning a lot because my brother is actually like Mkuduli, my real brother. So I'm also learning here. But anyway, it's a pity. Mother passed away. She took her own life after the Mother Don't Move seizure. My father, one time, the only time that my father spoke to me about sex, he told me, in fact, he didn't speak about me getting married. He actually said, you never divorce with your wife unless if you catch your wife in bed with another man. That is spoken from a man in a generation before ours. So I don't know whether that was good counsel or it was not, but he says the only time you can divorce with your wife is the time you find her in bed with another man. You just pack her things and ask her to leave. You don't even have to negotiate anything. But in this case, you have not found her in bed with another man. You have seen pictures of another man naked in her phone, and you have seen her sending her naked pictures to another man. Is that the same as her sleeping with that man, or it's not, it's a near miss? We don't know. So we will hear it from the men here. I've got men here. I've got men. They are going to tell me whether it is ground enough for you to leave your woman, no matter how much you have paid for lobola. If you see her sending, maybe she might even be sending her to a cousin or to Ubabomngani, your brother. They might be exchanging nude pictures. Maybe not of themselves, in fact. Maybe of Martha and the other. But they are sending nude pictures to each other. What do you do? Do you leave the woman or not? My brother?
Okay. Thank you so much. Reading the question and trying to hear the unsaid, trying to read what is not written here. This question came up because women, they have this thing of many, they leave us once they catch us cheating. So that's the reason why you find out they come up with such a question, because they always have this thing of, if men find us cheating, they leave us. Yes. So now that it's us, it's them maybe. if we find them cheating, are we supposed to leave them? So this question has got an opposite one. So if we leave them for just exchanging the nude pictures with someone else, so we are giving them now a green light. If I find you flirting with someone, if I find any pictures in your phone, so I have to leave you. So that's what we are telling them when we say we are gonna leave them when we find them exchanging pictures with
No,
someone
but,
else.
but speak for yourself, man. Are you gonna live here? She's
On my side, I'll side with what Comrade Mabena said. Yes, because speaking of something which we are not yet there, it's different because the emotion changes every time when you are faced with the different situations. But after observing what happens within the society, everything, I have this thought before. If I can find my wife cheating if I can find my wife doing so and so, I won't live here. What I will do, I will try by all means not to take the pictures to someone else or not to discuss the issue with anyone else. I'll just have to discuss the issue with you and then leave everything out because so that's what I've come up with in my mind.
That's why it's so difficult. Yeah, I was thinking about, you read my mind. I wanted to give you the opportunity after. That's why it's so difficult to take somebody's wife. There are negotiations behind closed doors there. Even no matter how dark it is. You know, myself, like you heard my brother saying, yeah, it's true, I've started living with a woman. But my laptop is full of nude pictures, and I used to go to a boys-only school. We have got alumni groups. I'm in those groups. Every day, nearly every hour, there is a nude picture, a video of sex being sent there. She has warned me. I've refused to remove. I haven't removed my nude pictures from the laptop. They are still there. And she has said that I should get off that boys group. I can't. I don't know whether that is ground for her to leave me or not, but I'm prepared for anything. So I know, as we discussed, that it's not easy. It's not easy not to be sent nude pictures. It's not easy not to be sent nude pictures. And once the nude pictures are sent, sometimes you see that maybe it was not even worth it. The person has not even, because when people send nude pictures, they don't discuss it with you. They send it to your phone. And by that time, maybe you are sitting together with your wife and the nude picture comes in. Then she says, no, but why would Angela send you a nude picture? In that case, maybe there is nothing between you and Angela, and it's not even you or Angela who is nude there, it's somebody else. So it's very difficult to look at this. Let's hear what Comrade Ntuta is saying.
Okay, I'll speak for myself. I'll leave the woman right away. And in saying this, I'm not saying from a point of thinking about doing. I did that, but I was not in church, just messages. From my relationship of 16 years, I left because of messages. I would like people to understand something about women. Women, they don't do those kind of things when they have not decided. If you want to understand why she did it, you are too late. The reason for you to want to find out is that you're trying to hold on. If you don't realize, you'll be that kind of guy who will kill the wife if you find out why. So I think it will be too late for you to try and find out why she sent those pictures, because at that time he's already at an advanced stage. I think also for men's health, I think we want to talk about men's health. Most men who do not leave their women for those kind of reasons are the most unhappy men in life. I think we have to, as men, we have to get to a point where we understand that we're not born with that woman. Whatever lobola, whatever connection that we already have together, you can always discuss to say, okay, we've got a business that we run together. Let's continue running the business. But for you, find someone that you love. Because women, they decide. It's not like us where you can be attracted to someone and you have those that last to have that person and then you're done. Women, they decide, and if they've decided, it will be late for you to say, let me find out why she's sending nude pictures to this guy, or maybe they are playing or they are joking. Never. You'll be late. It's like when you see the trail of the bus. You see, we grew up in the rural areas. When you see the trail of the bus that is gone, you can't look back.
You're waiting for the bus.
So I'm saying, for me, I would leave. Then I would try and find out why, maybe in my own ways, not even asking her for the next one. So that I can correct myself from this one, for this mistake. Let me try and find, and on this one that is coming, I'm telling you, otherwise.
All right, I'll give a minute to Mambo Lute while the camera is still facing there. He wants to say something, but be short because I gave you an opportunity.
Yes, I will be very much short, but I wanted to speak with my brother. I think this session is not touching really things that we need to be touching, because there are many root causes of why this kind of things happen. If you let her go right away, how many more would you let them go?
As many as they can. No, we're not going to.
No, listen, that's what I'm saying. There are things that we don't want to take by saying, let us fix this. Because uzofela uchinja umuntu wire in the season is different.
That's the idea. As long as your heart, most men suffer.
Secondly, when you want to be in a productive relationship, look for someone who loves you, not for someone you love. If a man looks for a woman that he loves, that woman is entitled to love someone else. So what you need to do in a relationship, find someone who loves you. In return, a man is not designed to love a woman. Let me tell you something that maybe most men don't know. A man is designed to take care of a woman because a man cannot love a woman. But many women that they submit to you, you take care of, and they should all love you. So a man who would speak of a one woman, I find it very difficult to believe in such kind of men who say, I have a woman. A man must work with women who love him. That's my philosophy.
All right, thank you. Okay. Right. Yeah, we understand that it doesn't have to be a woman, it has to be women. Right, but if you catch those women, all of them, we're exchanging nude pictures with other women, are you going to leave them or not? That's the question. So let's stay on the question. I don't want to be personal, and for the sake of this recording, I don't want to mention names, but I have been in many times been a subject of many fights in homes, including one which is very close to home, whereby I posted somebody on my status congratulating them. Somehow, because I'm in many groups, the husband saw the status, my status, and there was a fight there. There was a fight. The husband was actually saying to the woman, I've never posted you. Why has this man posted you? So there is something between you. So it's, I think when it's nude pictures, it's worse. People have fought because of you posting their wives dressed. What about you sending a nude picture? All right, let's continue. My brother Sage.
Chief, that area when we say that I will leave once I leave. In a relationship, there's always a conversation. There are talks. And you are busy training especially your wife, even girlfriend, we can say, for those who are having girlfriends, for a longer period. But according to the law, I think there is no a girlfriend for more than 6 months staying in the same house and living together. I think that one is important. But relationship, you will start educating the person the way you like things to be done. And all those things you can do, especially nowadays, you can do. Because I've been across some cases, you know, from the background, I think so, maybe from the culture or the background, I don't, I'm avoiding to be confused. A wife of someone cannot give you a number, cannot give a number to a man. If she wants to give a number to a man, another man, she must give the husband's number and to tell the say, okay, when you call me, you call this person, then you ask for me 1, 2, 3. And immediately when she reach home or she meet with the husband, say, okay, I was with this person. I gave him your number. He will call you for this business. That is these women who are housekeepers. Even if it's in a professional life, there's a way, you know, whom can you give the number and whom can you know, you have to balance. So that you train her to how to first start balancing things. Then, when it comes also to the pictures, what is important to send each other, what is not. Because women decide by emotion. You know that you can sleep with a woman which you never ever intend to sleep with her just because today she's under depression of a certain your wife, she just come out from the house, she's having a little bit of stress, she's under some emotions, then you just greet her. The way you greet her, you welcome her, she falls and you pick her from there. So, and then you go, you sleep with her and then come back and I believe my brother, he knows all those tactics because you've been, you can read a woman like this, from just there on the steps of the, you pick her. So now,
doesn't take 2 minutes to sleep with her.
Yes, it don't take you even minutes. So now, you have to prepare your wife to be strong on all those kind of things. So
but what are you saying, brother?
No,
are you going to live here or not?
No, I'm going to the picture issue.
Yes.
Because it's how we explain what are the causes and the reason why you can live or not. Then, by the time you are preparing for those things, she will understand and you will tell all those things. Then when I find you with that, I'll leave you. And I leave you because nowadays there's sex, even online sex is existing. So there's all these things are existing. So I've trained you already now. The only thing I won't do, personally, now I'm talking about personally, I may not even tell my father. I will never be angry with you, but I will leave you. I will never like tell this person because of this one or because of these things or no. Because if I leave you in my house, I will punish you and you will die by yourself. I'll just end something there and tell you that never remove this thing. Whenever you pass by the door, it hits you. Then it will be disturbing you and reminding you what you did wrong. And one day you will say this thing is disturbing me. I found it there. I said, no, go. I can punish you one way or another. So to avoid all those things, it's better I leave you and I'll leave.
Okay. My brother Sage is saying he's going to leave you.
We give a body of a woman actually. Why we are going to women? If they were walking naked, we would not go. We want to see what is inside there, how it is. So when it's exposed to everyone, there's nothing to hide. So you can go.
Okay, we need to be quick with time. I think lunch is ready. I've noted you, my brother Mkhululi. Before I go to the next person, my brother says let's rewrite our culture and say that go back to where we were where if a number, if you want to give a number to my brother Mabena, then you're a woman, you first you give Mabena my number, and Mabena has to speak through me. Earlier this year, I represented Nobuhle, one of the organizers of this event, was supposed to go to Pretoria, and she was engaged like she is now. I had to go in her place. I met a woman there who is a professor at Makerere University. That's in Kenya, isn't it? We were in Pretoria. Was she supposed to give me her? She has got a business card from Makerere University. I still have it. She gave me her business card. Was she supposed to give me her husband's business card? And we were there together professionally. So I have nothing to say to her husband. I don't know her husband. Her husband is in another country. How is she going to explain that? I could post a nude picture now to her. You know, it's very difficult the way my brother Sage is saying we should rewrite culture. We cannot go back there. Our wives are now working. I'm not responding to what you are saying. I'm actually continuing the conversation. It's now difficult. People are working. People have got business cards. We can, if I need to speak to your wife about business, I'll have her number. All right. We'll go on. I'll give Mkhululi a chance, and then after that, I've noted you, Comrade Musipa, and then our MC. Let's try to be short and quick. Cameraman.
Okay. I'm for the view that issue built. At times there is no need for you to seek a reason of why things happen, because it's you who will be involved. The person that you're supposed to activate you first before you do anything. Look at it this way. If you go around saying, okay, maybe I'm the cause in the lockdown, can you go to a court? Why did you rape this person? Then you tell the magistrate, you know, I was born. No. That thing is totally improper. It doesn't need any justification or whatever.
So are you saying you would leave it?
By sending those pictures, actually, she would be like telling you that she's no longer interested in you.
She's taking you on back.
Yeah, that's a straight up thing. Because when we are just like that, it involves our money. That marriage brings in and involves our money, our reputation, our money. So once you agree to sanitize that thing and stay with that person, never say I hate you of him. She will always, you know, we've done this thing. All the mothers have anyone. You have to touch on this one, I will change the gamgang, but what thing you do allow 20 of us. But you never complain of your tax or pay. But there is always an innovative way of covering your tricks. So the private someone is I'm not interested. Just leave once. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Before we go further, there are two of my brothers who have come in. My brothers, I'll welcome you and I'll give you a chance to introduce yourselves. My brothers who have come in here love football. I know that they are so eager for it to be evening now so that they can see the next game. We are discussing women here. This thing of yours of switching off Uzalo and want us to watch football is what we are discussing here now, that guys who have been getting messages that you guys are switching off Uzalo and you want people to watch football.
Yeah.
This is what we are trying to give answers to here. We've got questions that we need to quickly answer. You came late, but anyway, maybe you'll catch up in the next session. We are closing up before lunch now, but I'll give you opportunities to introduce yourselves before we go on. Vivi. Yebo. Suguma, you are on camera.
Okay. Uyakhuluma from me?
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Ngizokhuluma isilungu but nathi sonke
Siyezwa, introduce yourself and tell us which organization you are coming from. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm a total football activist.
Thank you.
So I can say, when I'm an organization, our organization is States of the Philippines.
Okay.
That's our organization.
Okay. My brother.
Yeah, sanibonani, it's Nkosana Manfred Maposa. We are known for Tales of the
Thank you. Right. Hey, Likutile. We now on the second question. The second question says you found out that your wife is exchanging nude pictures with another man. Do you live here or not? I'll just give one person an opportunity to speak while you think. I want to hear from you because we haven't heard anything from you since morning. Who was the next? Comrade Msipa.
Oh, thank you, Comrade Advocate Leah. Well, mina angeke ngichiye. Umuntu wami. First of all, ngiza improve because abafazi bakhuluma ngathi ngendlela ezitshiyeneyo. Ngezinye indlela madoda, I think asikhulume nini siyafundisana la. Abafazi bafuna iqolo lendoda. Umfazi akayifuni indoda ecama masinya. Umfazi ufuna indoda enothando. So ungabona sethumela ama nude pictures komunye umuntu izama ukutshela ngezinye indlela improve. So uma ungacontinue ucama masinya vele uzabaleka osendela abanye. Lathi madoda zikhona izinto esifanele sizenze empilweni yethu. Asibeni very smart ukuze amafazi bethu besithande. Asigunde nini inzinza ziyagunda, sorry ngihlamba.
No, it's on Samba in this session.
Inzinza ziyagunda madoda. Uma ulomfazi. So umfazi uyayihalela indoda esmart. Ugunde namaqhwapha lawa, usale usmart, unukelele mnandi, udle healthy, ujime indoda yamhalela umfazi nje. Manje ungahlala nomkhaba ongaka so umfazi akasaku enjoy iqolo leliyana alisekho. Umfazi yilo alidingayo iqolo elendoda akadingi enye into. So mina because it angeke ngichenza improve because aqala ngizibheke ukuthi lokho yikho yini nakho yini lokho kukhona yini so that umfazi wami ngingathi mase ngiphandle lapha I start to regret abanye amadoda esemgqokisa kahle esesmart sengiqala ukuyadubulana lamanye amadoda then I will improve then umfazi wami uzangitshayela ihlombe ukuthi le indoda yangempela kakhulu ngiya-improve eqolweni lapha ukuthi ziyabuya la.
Okay, yeah. My brother Patrick is saying he wouldn't leave the woman. In fact, he advises us that the woman is only after what you do in bed. Please, let's improve on that. Because if she starts sending pictures to another man, that means you are not doing enough in bed. She says that we should shave both private parts, including armpits, and be smart. Women love shaved men and things like that. So by watching other men, most probably with bigger assets, they are trying to tell you that you are not doing enough. I don't understand how somebody who wants to tell me why that I'm not doing enough actually shows another man pictures nude. I beg to, I don't want to differ with Comrade Patrick because that's how he sees it, but I go along with Nkululi that some of these things don't try to read between the lines. There are no lines here. The person is just saying, no, I no longer want you. I'm now watching somebody else. Just move away. All right, my brother first, and then Vivi there, Then I noted my brother from Mukwa project.
Right, eating ngiyibambe ngisengane.
Yes.
Hayi ngokubona kwami hayi. Yes, this is my viewpoint.
Yes.
It takes two to tango. And a relationship, as men, we love carrying responsibility, and in a way, we end up being abused. Because this is not your responsibility. That's the first and most important point. This person, if they come to me and say, you know what, I was tempted, I made a mistake, I can consider. But you can't say what you are using a stick and you are a woman to correct my behavior. I think that's just off. Because if I beat a woman for doing something that I don't like, I'm abusive. And if this person, I happen to see nudes and they say to me, you're not doing enough, that's why I'm doing this. I think that's ultimate abuse. Because instead of admitting that you have wronged me, you are now making me the victim. You are now making me a victim, the perpetrator of your behavior. And I'm not responsible for your behavior in whatsoever manner.
You must now apologize.
Imagine, now I have to apologize for having a small penis or for not being good.
All right,
in bed.
2 more people.
Now I must apologize because I don't look like that guy on the picture. And yet you made a choice of choosing me and not that guy. I'm sorry, I just think, for me, if the response to the pictures is that, that's off. But
You're leaving.
there is no negotiation. I think that's disrespectful. Basically, that's disrespectful to me. But if the person, I've seen the notes, and the person has got a certain disposition that proves that they might be willing to change their behavior, I can consider. But just by seeing them, my first instinct says I should leave. That's it.
Okay. In this instance, we are talking about somebody who is watching. Sorry, Mama. We are talking about somebody who has decided to look at somebody's assets. You know, this thing, let's not pretend that we are not human. Even yourself, when you see a certain woman, especially with big bums, dressed on your phone, you start imagining. What do you think the woman is imagining when she sees those big balls and you've got small ones? All right, we are going to give Vivi a chance. Please be fast. And then our brother from Mukwa project is going to close off and then we go for lunch.
We can continue after he's done. No, we can go and eat and then, because I see that.
I know,
guys are
but it's
fired
only
up.
2 people.
I
Let's
see they're still fired up.
quick. All right.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much.
Yes.
I think under normal circumstances, it's hard to but under normal circumstances, makwenzeka into enjengaleyo bengithi under normal circumstances makwenzeka into enjengaleyo, you just leave, uyazihambela nje just ngoba namhlanje uzobe compare nalo yabo. If you improve ufike ezingeni lalwa sasa usucompare nalwa, so wena usuyahlala usungumuntu ongeke uimprove, so wena kahle kahle usucompete labantu ongabaziyo. Ilife awazi ukuthi namhlanje usekambe watesta la weza ukuthi la uhanjwa 10 minutes wena uzijwayele yakho. So mayese ucompare lalwana usebona into hayi lo muntu akayenzeka. Okay, unga-improve ufike kuleyo 10 minutes. Sasa ihambe ezwi i-15 minutes. So kumele wenze njani?
My brother Vivi is saying no. It's running a race which does not end. He cannot stand to be competing with invisible people that he doesn't even know. If you are a 2-minute noodle, you are a 2-minute noodle. You cannot be competing with 10 minutes broilers. So he says if it's for him, he would leave. All right. For now, our brother from Mukwa project is going to wrap up. We are going to consider whether to continue with this session after lunch, but afterwards, We are going to break for lunch after my elder. Please keep your numbers. We are going to use these numbers for our breakaway. So please keep your numbers safely so that you know where you belong. My brother, just close for us before we go and eat.
Thank you, Advocate. Now I'm just going to be brief.
Yes.
Yes. The fact that this woman, my wife, is not receiving only. If she was receiving, someone keeps on sending a nude picture, and she's only receiving, I would stay. Because that person is sending, like you said, you get a phone number from someone business-wise, you decide to send him. But now they are exchanging. The fact that she's, yeah, they're exchanging. So how do I improve my small penis? How do I improve it? Penis enlargement.
But the issue of size, gentlemen, we are the ones who introduced this thing. The question says she's exchanging pictures with us.
Actually, I'm seeing the pictures from the other guy who is sending and my wife is very interested. She keeps on sending and sending. So I have to improve my small penis for people. It won't work for me.
Okay, let me just close before we go for lunch.
For that, I will also move.
All right. Remember, guys, it's not only pictures. Nude pictures might be videos. Sesibabonile abantu besithumela ama video bechama. So it's like you don't know what kind of videos your wife is sending. So please, I don't know. Let's consider. Let's go and eat, and I'll hand over to the MC.
Comrades, as we leave here, you see there's a nice table prepared for us. Let's go and have lunch, and then let's just keep the discussion going. Even if you're outside having lunch, let's engage with one another, and then let's keep the discussion going.
I think there are some of you heard about Congo Pal. They'll come to me and supply.
Report backs, and then we're going to have question and answer on those reports, and then we're going to ask Ubodi Umbonisi Sibanda to come and speak on issues of mental health, mental well-being here to Jagamachit. So the first group is group number 1. If you see on your page number 2 is the first question after the second one we discussed. GBV rights tend to favor women than men, yes or no? So those are payable number 1. You can go to we are going to remain here in the auditorium. Group number 1, we are going to discuss GBV rights tend to favor women than men, yes or no? So those with number 1 are going to remain here. And then group number 2, it is a duty. It is the duty of a woman to agree to sex with her husband every time without excuses, yes or no? It is the duty of a woman to agree to have sex with her husband every time without any excuse, yes or no? Or is Mr. Sage? I think Sage is going to be interested in this one. And then group number 3, men are also victims of GBV. Men are also victims of GBV, yes or no? So those with number 1, we are going to remain here in the auditorium. With number 2, we are going that side in the main office of ATF. And then group number 3, they say there's a small office also that side. Group number 3 is going to utilize that office. So I think we're going to give ourselves 15 minutes. And then we come back, we do our reports back. And please have a scribe who's going to write the notes and whatever that you guys are going to discuss, so that when you come back, you can discuss on those reports and we move on to the next item. Thank you very much. Fill up this idea.
So you fill up the dome.
So you fill up the dome, fill up the seats. Leadership. Singakhalisa dine one. I think sikhalisa dine one. As we advocate. Ngiyakuzwa concern. Yeah. I think are we all back? I think we're all back. Abanye baphumile, I don't know. I think we can be discussing siyaphambili for the sake of time. Ngoba yabona ezulu phansi it's almost it's raining actually, not almost raining. I think we've discussed discussions at lawa question now 3. So I'm going to call upon scribers for group 1, 2, 3. Ukuthi elandelane. Gents, please, for each and every question, even if you're not part of that group, you can note your questions down as they present reports wabo, so that during a question and answer session, we can be able to engage those questions. And then I think we've got 15 minutes for all the 3. Usislo ufuna ungena angazi la mvumela mata. We've got 15 minutes to discuss all the 3 questions, so that the remaining 15 minutes we give it to Upoti Mbonisi for a presentation yakhe on mental well-being. So that's isikhathi kakhulu and sichonele lana until 4. So group 1 scribes and can come forward and give us a report yakhe.
Good afternoon. Sure. Ngiyazwakala.
Sure.
Ngathi mase ngakhuluma kahle. Okay, a question here it was on GP rights tend to favor women than men, of which answer was obvious, it's yes. So, as we look on the GPV, most of them, they just advocate for women. It's always about women. Whenever you talk about men, it's always men is the perpetrator, not the victim. And none of them have ever looked on the side of a man or on what happens, all that emotional abuse that goes through. So we believe that it was tailor-made for women as a way, I don't know whether they call it women empowerment or bringing women to power. That's how they call it, that's how they put it, the activists, the feminists. When a man does something bad to a woman, the whole country rises up in uproar. But if it's a man who's a victim, it's dead silent. We look at what recently happened, this high school matriculant who hanged himself because everyone just believed the girl without any investigation or anything. He was just labeled a rapist. His mental state couldn't take it. He left his mom, whom we saw from the messages that his last message that he wrote, that he really loved it. So from that we can tell, and none of the news outlets or media talked about it, or any activist or a feminist to say women should be doing this. None of them were on his side. They'd already labeled him. Once you are labeled that you are a rapist, even though it's not true, it becomes the truth just because the woman says so. So when will the men be heard and say, okay, that man said that he didn't do it and be believed? What happened to innocent until proven guilty? So those are the things that we looked at, that GPV was tailor-made for women. Also, if you look at most of what we call this, the activist group, most of them, when you go there as a man to try and join or bring in your opinion, you're treated as an outsider, say, no, you can't bring in your opinion, you're one of the perpetrators. So that also shows that GPV was never meant for men. It was only meant for women. Even though sometimes they try to bring in and say, protecting women and children. Nowadays, it's always about girl child. There are no groups that look on the boy child like, how is he gonna grow up different from those monsters and that they call us monsters now. How is he gonna grow up different from his forefathers who were treating women like this? But they just let us go astray and grow however. Then tomorrow they'll be crying about those same boy child that they just led them to wilderness. So I don't know which routes we're gonna take for us, for the boy child and men to be taken serious. So I just wish we come up with a way or groups that will be, I don't mean like to say to be mainly on the boy child, but also to teach people that also men can be victims. They are not always the perpetrators. Because I'm sure one of us as guys, we know one man that is abused in their own home. But just because, even if they go and report, nothing happens. If he complains, they say it's too soft. If he cries, like, no, you're too soft. Then, until the moment he kills his own wife, now they say he didn't talk to anyone. He tried, but no one listened. Because there's never anyone there to listen to. Thank you.
Group 2. Group 2. No one is there. Oh, it's you. And then group 3 you follow so that you can engage all at once.
Linjani bobaba? Yeah, khona into ngathi angisayitholi kahle. Ugroup 1 ube answer question 1 kuphela. Ugroup 2 answer question 2. How?
The answer one.
Okay. It seems we spent the least time on question 2.
You're doing question
Eh?
2. You're doing question 2.
Yeah, I'm saying we spent the least time on question 2. Question 1, most of izinto ebesizikhulumile se usuziphendulile vele already. Our answer was yes. Because indoda maya reporter bayithatha ngezinye indlela. Amaphoyisa mawungafona uthi umfazi uya ku abuse, they are not going to come. And enye into ebalekile enganakwayo ukuthi they don't look at the root cause. They think GBV is when indoda finally beats umfazi physically, you see. But GBV starts ngama abuses maningi ama abuses ayenzakalayo la emzini up until someone gets omunye umuntu agcine time sengikhathele, yabo. Because sometimes if something happens you keep quiet, umuntu uyaqhubeka, uyaphuma, uyahamba, ne mawujika uyaqhubeka futhi. Tothi ngaleso sikhathi sokusebusuku cannot go outside. If you keep quiet nakathuli uyaqhubeka, yebo. So ugcina ususenze enye into ezakwenza ukuthi uyelala somewhere else rather than endlini yakho, you see. Then yeah, hayi okunye ube sekukhulumile, omunye ukukhulumile kwafa. Then question 2 I think lo muntu oyibhalileyo angazi ukuthi obezama ukubhala something, wabhala something. I'll read it again. Is it my duty?
It is the duty. It was a typo there.
It is the duty of a woman to agree to sex with her husband every time without any excuses. So question yakhona sigcine sesicabangela lathi ukuthi maybe bazama ukuthi, but irresponse was yes. Uthi umfazi ma engenama excuses, she is not menstruating, she is not sick, okwenza ukuthi athi no yini. Ayikho nje into enza ukuthi athi no, yabo. He kwangutsho ukuthi he is not menstruating, he is not sick. Sisa ukhathala can be umuntu yakhona ukuthi etukhathele ngakhathalanga, yebo. Ngezinye zezinto ebesikhuluma ngazo ukuthi dala bekuthi ma umuntu ene attitude enjalo, indoda iyasuka nje iye suke kumasipanda izile kumangwenye. Simple. La umasipanda uyabe sazi ukuthi next week mayindoda ifika ingeza the same thing uyasuke kumamoyo yabo. So laba abamanje balegunya lokuthi bayazi ukuthi engaze thini, you are not going anywhere, you are not going anywhere, uzosafa kuphela khona lapho ukhona yabo. Then question 3 sophonga ulokhuza nje kancane because sike sakhuluma futhi ngakho. Men are also victims of GBV. Sithe yes, not just physical assault. Then abafazi vele siyabazi baphiwe la when in such a way ukuthi ungathola umfazi ongabhobhotiwe uyethuka ukuthi lo walunga ka ikangaka uphiweni lapha aphiwe into ayiphiwe yini yabo. So isisile abuse liyane yokubhobhotelwa kakhulu yabo. Ngathi i-physical abuse from abafazi to emadodeni is much small, ama percentages akhona amancane kakhulu. Then there is sexual abuse futhi yabo, because umuntu uzo like siyalala manje siyangena engutsheni siyakhumula umuntu yakhumula asale enqunu ahalala azazokuthinta mpela uzuthi uthinti but nxa ususithi asenze phela kafuni yabona umuntu okuhlokozayo nje ngabo ufuna uku-abuse yabo. So I think angeke ngigxile kakhulu ku number 3 because kuno group 3, but ku group 2 bengicela ubaba umoyo azothi uku-elaborate kancane. Mina I think ukhona okunye ngushile ngendlela bebesidiscuss ngakhona ku question 2.
Sibonge bobaba. Alizwe. Awukawo. Ngiyabonga Nkosi yami, siphinde sibingelele futhi endlini yamadoda namhlanje. Sibonga leli thuba esiliphiwe ngomama namhla besi challenger. Kodwa ama questions lawa nje ahluphe ngokuthi abe ngama leading questions. We understand. Akhiwe phezulu kanti singamadoda sidinga ama root cause asisibanane nama solution. Vele nje kule question yethu bafethu, it was a tough question in our session ngoba umama lapha nguyena okufuneka evume kuzo zonke izikhathi. You understand? Noma ikanjani nje kumina kube uyena ovumayo ngoba banemikhuba yokuthi mhlambe no, I'm not in a mood to do that. You understand? Of which namadoda akazisathi asikho in a mood. So umama ngaso sonke isikhathi kuyena omele vele abe lezwi lokugcina lokuthi uyavuma or akavumi na. Uyayibona? Ene futhi lapha bobaba kule question yona le u2 siyagxile kuyona ithi yona owesifazana uyena every time. Nabona that's why I said to you nina ifundiswa niyabhala kuphela. Thina singafundanga sisebenza ngama terms. Uyabona? Every time not daily akufani. Kusho ukuthi ngaleso sikhathi senizoyenza leyo nto ubani omele thatha isinqumo lapho sokuthi yebo siyavumelana ngoba manje singabo baba futhi sesifuna ukuthi sithathe isinqumo lapha sesisinele lento yokwesaba ukuthi kuyothiwa ngenjani ngimfostile. Yabona? Kanti indoda eqinisweni angeke ithi no for 31 days. Ikhona indoda engathi no. Ikhona indoda yaketshela umuntu esifazana ukuthi ikhathele noma nje sebenza econtraction. Ni understand? So kufuneka thina singu group 2 sithi kufuneka umama abe uyena othatha isinqumo sokuthi uyavumelana nakho na ocha. Sima lapho siyabonga. Ngizagcwalisela nabanye. Ngiyabonga.
Okay.
Nitshwana njani? Akekho umso ongazwisi into angithi. Sonke sesihlele endabeni yokukhuluma. Okay, siye sa discuss u number 3 lapha. Obuza ukuthi khona amadoda nawo angama victims awe gender violence. And sivumelana ukuthi yebo
kunjalo amadoda nawo ayi-victim ye-gender based violence ngezizathu ezithile engisazama ukuzidinga lapha sengizitholile. Kune misinterpretation kakhulukazi endabeni ye-equal right ukuthi yaphonga ukuthi ilahlelo laphana ku-ground kwathiwa bomama nabobaba selilingana. Abazange besiya interpreter ngendlela eyenza ukuthi omama bayizwisise lento ukuthi lilingana based on what. I-right yokuphila, wonke umuntu le-right elinganayo ukuthi aphile, wonke umuntu le-right elinganayo ukuthi avuke ekuseni ethola amanzi aclean, ukudla, i-shelter, everything. Kodwa kukhona izinto ezideep othola ukuthi obaba yibo vele nakanjani kumele bebhekane lazo lezo zinto lezo. So omama basebekuthatha konke lokhuyana bakugeneralize whereas ke mase kufika lowo bunzima phambili baphushela obaba phambili kuthiwa kona hayi lento le ngeyeno. So bayafuna ukuthi imisebenzi ekhaya lapha siyenze ndawonye ngokuncedisana nabo konke nje befunda isenze ngokuncedisana, but mase kusiza ku budget eyasendlini la ekhaya omama bayathanda ukugodla kakhulu nemali yabo imali nje abayifuni ukuthi isetshenziswe every time, ifuna ukuthi kusebenze imali yendoda. Ubona nje imizi ichitheka kangaka kusukele kona phana ukuthi omama bona kahle singathi bayizihwaba. So sikunanzile ukuthi imaso kune kuhiqiqi sokuhqiqiswana ngendaba ye-budget kuyalidela ukuthi indoda ingasabi right lapha emqondweni ugcine mhlawumbe sokusiba nokulwa sokutshintshiswana ngamagama indoda awusindoda yalutho sephuma lapha nethatha udabula lwana igijimise ephejini leli enihlala ngiligxeka kakhulu ukuthi yiMacox Women's League. Lapha nama ifike ifaka udabula lakhe vele bemtshela ukuthi akuhlalwa le ndoda enjalo. Sebuya lapha sekhipha amagama amanye anzima kakhulu kanti sewafidwe ngabanye omama ku social media lapha na ukuthi bezoba busy ngawo la endlini. Uyakuhlokoza udinga nje indlela ukuthi one day uzumfaka isandla kumbe la egcina ekufaka isandla then bese kunjani bese sokuhlukana. Then ke physical abuse nayo sithintile kona phana ukuthi akhona amadoda ashayayo ezindlini kodwa engakhulumi ngoba umsuka wethu phansi avele singamadoda nje asivunyelwe ukuthi uzwalo indoda uthi umfazi uyangishaya. La sekukhuleni nje laphana ikweluseni ababeselusa namantombazana kwakungeke ushawe nje intombazana. Nasesikolweni mawufika grade 1 uyabusilwa le ntombazana grade 5 grade 7 kuthiwa kula mfana oyihlulwa yini intombazana. So kwakulihlazo nje kuzwakala indoda esithi kona umfazi uyangishaya. So amadoda azofa bulawa ngomama ngendaba ukuthi ayiswele ukuthi abikele bani amapolisa ngale nawo mayefika amapolisa akuhleka nje uyinhlekisa. So amadoda ayafa kancane ngaphakathi. So answer yethu ngu yes, amadoda nawo ayi victim yani ye gender based violence. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you very much, gents. We have addressed all the questions on page number 2. I think we can just go over these 3 other questions. Maybe there are others that want to give input on question number 1, GBV rights tend to favor women than men. Now, Uba Folana has got something to say.
They are leading us to answer the questions. Kanti ke thina sihlanganyela singamadoda. Thina sifisa. Why singahlangananga thina sixoxa ukuthi kanti nina madoda ngifuna ukwenzani emzini yenu. Sikhulume ngenkanuko zethu nezifiso zethu. Hayi ukuphendula abomama because bona bayahlala phansi ba decide ukuthi bona bafuna bafike lapha emzini sebesenza lokho abakufunayo. Thina ke sifuna.
Yeah, I think sonke savumelana lapha regarding these questions that have been put to us, that they are leading questions. Since we have been invited by Buona Omama, I don't know, maybe we must speak to Advocate Unleya. We invite Omama on our own program. We on the other side and we discuss we come up with questions thina esifuna ukuthi kwenzakale emzini yethu okube yithi zodwa baba sixoxe sisodwa. I don't know how we can work around that, because I think sonke savumelana about the leading questions, but maybe for the sake of progress we can just discuss these questions, and then masesi vala we can discuss ukuthi what should happen, what must be done regarding ukuthi thina singobaba sizizwa kanjani and emzini yethu sifuna ukuthi kube kanjani. Angithi imbuzo yabo lapha ithi bathe itheme yabo the men we need. So maybe that's why imbuzo yabo leader kanje ukuthi sibe ngamadoda labo nabawudinga. But thina, what kind of men do you want to be?
I think itheme yabo should be the men we want.
I think they always say ukuthi indoda is the head of the family, but the woman is the neck that controls that head. Yabona manje we are here, we are discussing what they want us to discuss. Thina kube basilekile la sibe siyobuya sizobuza kama madoda kwenziwa njani manje ngithethe la ngile small house. Kumele ngenzeni ukuthi umama lo engadiscuss kule small house.
Advocate le indaba yayisi.
Whenever we have discovered something, since this thing, I think people were here when I introduced the topic in a test. Ngichilo ngathi lento yaqala kuthiwa equal rights. Bathiwa gender equality. Manje zodwa GBV. In the whole thing, you will realize ukuthi iyabe lokhu ihamba i-progress thina sibi lolutho to counter that. Thina sihlala silandela into esethwe ngabanye abantu, and like also to answer a question ekade lisho ukuthi manje lathi sizayenza njani ukuthi sidiscuss awethu ama-questions. Thina vele asibi lolutho lapha laba bantu bafuna ama-answer awo, because now they want to restructure the same thing yona leyana yaqala i-equal rights. They are now restructuring it, and until umvundla laye unogwajala yazanikezwe isikhathi sokuthi akaxoxe ukuthi uhambe njani eganyeni. Umzingelo uzahlale ngiyihero khonakala kodwa kuyabe kwesinye isikhathi yabe khuthe wazijangile. So thina labantu they will always find ukuthi sicabanga njani, and then go and formulate policies which work against us.
That's true.
So why are you participating?
No, I comrades. No, but it was important for us to participate, because at least now we've managed to interact as amadoda, as much as besimizongo mama. We can now try and facilitate a men's dialogue that is championing the interests of men. Leadership.
Mina mhlambe it's just an additional art of Ilomboza, because Bafo SAE touching it up. These are leading questions and we are all agreeing. And I don't see it actually formulating to any solution. I'm told. We need the things where they can restore our identity as men. Because currently now there is lack of an identity of a man. If I will challenge one man or you as an MC Konalana, whatever nisibongo for Zalongban, up to 5 people, you cannot reach there.
Sure.
So now we have a identity crisis. So an identity crisis, it comes with its own values and principles. So now what kind of a man who is been designed by our comrades, because impilo zethu thina samadoda sadesignwa ngokuthi ngokomoya this is what defines me, and an identity comes with its principles. Kosigabade siphila kanjani, simphatha kanjani umuntu esifazane. Uyazwisisa? Now being told by a certain democratic society principle, which I think is demonic according to my understanding, which comes from the West, which now divide me to be something else which I don't even resonate with it. Now, what is gender-based violence? You understand? And then why if you have a bit of a quarrel with she goes and posts that quarrel to Uma Cox. But yet kuna madombo, kuna bo auntie, kuna bo malumekazi, kuna people who should be i-governance yethu edila ngama-matters wethu. Ma ngabe mhlawumbe wena uyahola awulethi imali endlini. Mina ngathi mangibona imizi yangakithi kuze ibe iqine. Ubaba wathi mayeholile wayinikeza ubaba umama imali. Ebesiyayicela leya mali. Ukuthi hayi bengicela ukuthi ngiyafaka e-church lapha yana bafuna abantu. You understand? Today is I do not understand how can a man and a woman be equal, because even nature itself is a universe. Ayivumi. Indoda mayochama umfazi uyaqhuba. Uyazwisisa izinto eziningi izinto ezenza ukuthi vele nomfazi sinjani singafani. Why today we as men we allowing to be equal with a woman? How?
I think we must start. I'm going to note it down. We must set a date. We discuss these things as men extensively, because manje we honored the invitation of our mama. So I think let's just run with their program for now. Mbizu Putumbonisi, ukuthi abuye representer on mental health, and then I think we must find a suitable date. Naba holidays esondele, maybe abanye they will be traveling or whatnot. But I think it's something that we must discuss. Or better yet, I think our contacts are corner lapana. I can just quickly save our contacts omuntu wonke, and then create maybe a WhatsApp group, a men's dialogue, and then we try and share ideas and everything. It's Katimas as woman, and then we have our own event that is going to speak to us as men. Comrade Bonis.
Hey, sengisutha kusakhulumeki. But anyway, siyabonga i-challenge efana nale igama ngumbonisi ngokosibanda njalo ngise enata laphana emngceleni weplantry necholocho ngumfule ngiphuzayo ngiphuza umanzi amnyama into yami ngugambo. Yebo, lapha engikhona. Engizokhuluma isokuxoxa nokuthi engizokukhuluma ngoba lena siyexoxa sindawonye. Yabona when given i-platform efana le angithandi ukuthi ngibheke ezincwadini ukuthi kwabhalwa kwathiwa umuntu maye kusesimini so kumele ukuthi aphathe so ngoba umqondo omunye umuntu naye wa observe impilo ngiyakhe indlela wasithatha wabeka lapha yana. Of course siyahamba sifike sicuphe lapha bese sihlanganisa nani ne-experience ukuthi experience empilweni yona isifundiseni uhlangane nobani wakwabani wakutshela ukuthini wafunda ukuthini kuloya muntu loyana. So ziwu-4 izinto ke umuntu onke okumele ukuthi ihlale nje balanced kakhulu kuzo. Kungaba ngumuntu ongumama, kungabe ngumuntu ongubaba. Kuphela nje namhlanje ngoba singobaba kakhulu esikhuluma ngabo kumele sikubheke lokho. Sizobheka into kuthiwa ngama-emotions. Basilethele into leya ngithi ukuthi siyisebenzise. Ngizobhala nje izinto zo-4. Ama-emotions. Bese sibheke i-spirituality lana. Sibheke i-mental. Bese sibheke i-physical. Right. Lezi zinto zone lezi izovele zenza umuntu uphelele khona lapha akula ngenye indlela ukuthi umuntu ungamkhupha ezintweni zona lezi. Then zikhona izinto ke ezifika zimgudluza umuntu ama-emotions wakhe engabe sesiba balanced. Then kubo baba siyashesha ukulimala ama-emotions isikhathi esiningi mangabe sesi imali ekhaya engekho kahle. Ngoba sibhekelela ukuthi kube yithi letha konke ngaphi etafuleni njengoba lapha ubaba Moyo eqeda ukusho ukuthi ubaba wayebuya nemali beyisurrender kubani isurrender kumama. So umama the moment imali short la ekhaya umama tends to seek for maybe ama alternatives. Seqala ukuxoxana nabanye umama ngaphandle ukuthi yami indoda kunje. And the issue of immigration lene ke yathintwa ngoba umabhena lapha yana ilimaza abantu abaningi because masifika lapha sifike sibe nenhlanhla efanayo yokusebenza. Sithathe uhambo olude ukuthi ugcine uzithole kumbe ugcine uthola indlela enhle yokuziphilisa.
umuntu esaziwa impela maybe eneziqu ezithile nama-qualifications athile but ezithola zisebenza umsebenzi ophansi kakhulu. Omama bathanda ukuthi beqhathanisa abantu khona phayana. Yabona singakafiki nje endabeni zabo ama-bedroom into eziningi bathanda ukusiqhathanisa ngophana besibhale kabi khonapha kuma-social media kukhulunywe laphana. Inkulumo zena zifika zike sezilimaza ama-emotions kababa. Indoda ingavele limala ama-emotions then nasekhaya ayisakwazi ukuperforma ngendlela e-right. So yikho lokho enginanzela ukuthi kuyalimaza ini umqondo kababa. And then ku-brain la kune organ ekuthiwa yi-pituitary gland okuyiyona esebenzisana kakhulu ne-reproductive system yomuntu cishe wonke ongubaba kumbe ongumama. So if une-stress kumbe uya-depressed, that gland ayikhiqizi kakuhle lokho kuthiwa ama-hormones ayiwenza ukuthi ulangazelele ukuthi la umuntu ongumama mayiqhamuka lapha ngathi umuntu ongumama mayiqhamuka lapha. Thina by nature obaba akumelanga udlule umuntu ongumama lapha noma ngasomfazi akumelanga adlule lapha amehlo engambonanga by nature. Bezwisisa? Yes. Lento yehlula uJesu naye watholakala la ngeselalisa uMaria enyaweni zakhe la bexoxa. Lanxa bengasasitshelanga deep ukuthi kwahamba njani ingqondo yahambe isabalayo ngona phansi. So by nature amadoda kanjani vele adalwa ngaleyo ndlela because indoda is a generator. Is a generator. So ungavela ulimale la kuma emotions sewulimele kokuphela umfazi umama sekulimazile ngobaba nabo abanye obaba basetshenziswa ngomama because ankulweni sokuthiwa kona thola ukuthi nginomngani lo muntu ongumama uyabona. So abuye mhlawumbe ezobuza kimi ukuthi hey ubaba wasendlini kunje ngicina mina sengiyisikhali esisetshenziswa ukuthi kulinyazwe umuzwa lona umama lwana sengincedisa umama lo ukuthi abone ukuthi indoda yakhe akusindoda yalutho ngimnikeza ama-examples ecishe mina engiwona kumbe amadoda amanye ayiwona angikhoyo kula indoda esendlini. So sesincedisana thina singobaba sincedisa omama ukulimaza imizi yamanye amadoda okumele sikugweme ngonkana ukuthi obestie abakuthiwa ngobestie abangawumama esiphila nabo mayebuya umuntu ethi nginkinga la endlini ubaba kunje asizameni by all means ubanikeza ama-advices azobancedisa kwangempela ukuba bekunguwe ole situation nalana ukuthi umfazi manje uyakukhuluma lana abantu ubungafisa ukuthi indoda lana ithini ngawe kumbe ithini ngokuvuswa komuzi wakho. So asizameni by all means ngoba cishe sonke kona lapha bakhona mebaba umuntu abongumama babuya bezobeka inkinga zabo kithi abafesana nazo kuphi ezindlini. Asibancediseni ukuvusa imizi yabafowethu ngoba imizi le ngeyethu le nyabo baba imizi le mayichitheke ezandleni zethu akulamnye umuntu ozosincedisa ukuyibutha. Actually sivumela the agenda of the West ukuthi vele bafuna ukuthi besilimaze. The moment ushaya indoda ushaya i-spinal cord se culture se tradition se spirituality of that kind of a nation. So kumele sikukhangele konke khona kukhona. Singabuya lana ku spirituality into exhumane nani nama emotions. Spirituality akusinto engiconnecta ne religion. Cha. Tina was more spiritual vele before religion were not identified ukuthi si spiritually because of religion esi-imposwe kithi whether umuntu uyi-Christian uyi-Muslim uyi-Buddhist or whatever but bottom line ukuthi umuntu uyini is more spiritual. So indoda esikhathini esiningi ama-emotions engalimala kuyamgudluza lana esporoni so ese-spirituality. Why udinga lento lena ukuthi ube strong ngayo because kune inner person le ekhuluma nawe every time ekutshelayo ukuthi okay lapha kungayenzeka ukuthi lapha kuzanje mase ngibhekana nesituation so angiact kanje ngalindlela. So indoda mayilimele emkondweni the inner voice liyana awuyizwa mayikhuluma nawe. Kuba nama voices amaningi axoxela into eziningi ngoba umuntu is built up of energies. So the negative and positive energies zonke ziflowa kuwe khona laphana njengoba kuse battery kuma terminals laphayana. So lento kuthiwa emotional intelligence amandla ayo ayakhelwe ukuthi ukwazi ukulawula yonke imizwa ephakamayo kumbe wonke ama voices aphakamayo. So nalana ku spirituality lana mazisebenzisana zombili lezi zinto lezi zikhandele lokho ukuthi wena umuzi wakho ukwazi ukubeka izwi lizwakale. Ngoba imizi yethu nale esibuildayo manje kufuneka futhi ivikelwe yithi. Asiyivikele kuphela physical ukuthi indoda kumele ukuthi ma kulento engenayo ibhihloka kumbe ithatha induku kumbe ithatha isibhamu ukuthi siya kulo. Sivikela nangengqondo nange-spiritual nale engikhuluma ngayo ukuthi kumele ube strong. Kumele ukuthi ulele bakumoya uvuke kusasa une-answer oyitsheliweyo nawe ongakwazi ukuthi ivela ngaphi. Kodwa usazi ukuthi kune-answer lapho engiyitsheliweyo eqondane nokuzovusa into yangakithi kumbe into engeyami. Izwi leliyana if ama-emotions awekho balanced, if indoda ikhathazekile, izwi leliyana mali khuluma awulizwa. Uzwe wele engozini okungamelanga uwele kuyo ngoba izwi leliyana lifikela lilethela i-message but still awulizwanga ngoba ubusamamele lele likulimaza kakhulu ukuthi nangumfazi wami uthi nangumfazi wami uthi. So kumele sikubalance, sifunde ukubalansisa khona lokhuyana. Angazi ukuthi ngayiphi indlela ngoba uhulumeni wethu every day ufunza i-society ukuthi ibe against amadoda. So sigcina sizama ukuzidefenda. So in the sense of sizama ukuzidefenda, sizama ukuziprove ukuthi si right ngalokho nalokho, lokho kuyalimala lokho. Kukhona ukusilahlekelayo laphayana. Then mentally ayikho i-mentality or i-mentally umqondo umuntu awuzimelanga wodwa ngaphandle kokuthi ugadwe yize lezi zinto ezingapha. Lo mhleli ngibuza abantu umbuzo ukuthi umuntu ucabanga ngani? Ngenhliziyo kumbe ngengqondo? Ucabanga ngani? Ucabanga ngengqondo and then bese inhliziyo yona uma ususithi kona inhliziyo yamithi.
Spirituality.
I think inhliziyo i-feeling is not into oyizwayo not oyicabangayo.
Ngicela ukuthi ngithi ucabanga
ngakho kokubili. Okay.
ngoba inhliziyo ekhona ukuba nengqondo you can hold two thoughts ezihlukeleyo. Ucina usithi angisakwazi ukuthi ngiyenza so ngaba nje kube nje nakho ngiyafuna kungenza so konke lokho kuya ezintweni ezihlukileyo endaweni ezihlukileyo. So I think
I wanna that part when sithi inhliziyo yamithi actually asinhliziyo kahle kahle. That is the inner man. Yona la part liyana esibiza inhliziyo nyokuphampa igazi. That's why unga operate inhliziyo ucina ufakelwe omunye umuntu usebenze ngayo. Sandla sikamoya.
Singa lapho Nkosi yami inhliziyo is just for related feelings. But that spiritually and mentally izinto eziphilisa.
Noted baba.
Izinto eziphilisa umuntu. Because only a brain which is truly is alive. Amanye organs they all submit to the brain. If a brain is dead, there is no heart can do.
Jabo. Baba undazi.
For the lack of biological studies in African culture, abantu thina abantu abansundu sivunyelwe ukuqamba any part of the body siyisebenzise noma singakwazi ukuthi yiyo yini esebenza kuyo. Ma umuntu esithi inhliziyo yami ithi akakwazi ngesilungu kuthiwa yini kule gama labo okanye abantu bathi 60 sense intuition. Yeah, intuition akusinhliziyo leyani. Like you are saying is the inner self eyekutshelayo and I don't know ukuthi kwalimala kuphi or maybe it's because thina zange sibe very much in touch with understand the spirituality. Uyabona inyoni ngeke uyibhale. The moment inyoni isithi isizwa that inner voice isithi kule danger coming iyaphapha. Thina ungathi uhamba ngizathatha example for umuntu oyabe hamba maybe hill ephuma eBeria engene hill. Ungathi ufuna uthatha indlela leya ngase-Shoprite uzwe usithi ngabe uthatha leyo. Uyaphikisa uthathe leyo ususithi mawusuka nje ukuzuza. Kodwa inhliziyo yami yadecide that is the inner cell. So it's ayisonhliziyo esa. Ukuthi thina ibiology ayizange ibe khona kahle. Ithi asikwazi ukuthi yiphi i-pathology. Ngibencedisa kuphela lapha.
Siyabonga. So yona lento lena i-connectane kakhulu nani nomuntu lo ngaphakathi komuntu. Umuntu ingqondo vele ngavele disturbeke ube nento yokukhathaza kakhulu. Lo muntu uyashata down lo. Nokucabanga lapha ugcina uthatha izinqumo ezinyani ezirong. Kumanje ungabheka out of 10 abantu abacommit suicide, you will find ukuthi 8 are men. Yabo. So uthi uyabheka ukuthi what led those men ukuthi begcine becommit suicide. Chances are high 7 is women related. Yabo. So omunye ufike alimala emkondweni abekusiba nento ukuthi uyehluleka nokuthi into angayichaza ayithini ebantwini. Angayitshela ayithini abantu ngaphandle. Ngenxa yokuhlekwa okukhona. Uyabona? Ugcina umuntu ethatha isinqumo esinjani esirong. Cishe sonke la siyasibe nabantu esibaziyo ukuthi ubani unkosikazi wakhe uye wamhlukumeza ngendlela thizeni maybe wagcina sefuna ukuthatha isinqumo esirong ukuthi abulale. But sasithola sesicomforta ukuthi no ungathatha isinqumo esiso because of 1 2 3. Uyabona? Uma sesenamandla ukuthi ungayicomfort enye indoda uyibonise iqiniso la ngempela ukuthi ungakwenza 1 2 3 usevile umuzo enye indoda ubusevile impilo yomunye umuntu. But abanye sifika sibe nalento ukuthi no vela ngikwenziwe njalo ngumuntu ongumfazi. And the chances are high umuntu lwana othi ungavuma umfazi ekwenza njalo naye uke wadlula ku situation enjalo usalimele azange athola indlela yokuthi into lana ayidlulise kumbe aphole ngayo. So sefika ma wena usumtshela ukuthi umfazi ungenza ukuthi kuvuka inxiba elidala. Kuvuka inxiba elidala elikuye lokuthi abantu laba basijwayela vele yabona kume ukuthi ngayikhonti uyayibona. So sonke siyalimala makunje so those are the things ezilimaza i-mentality yethu. So esikhuthaza kakhulu kubobaba ukuthi masingaba strong la mentally then siyakwazi ukusupporta i-spirituality yethu le ngaphakathi. Siyakwazi ukusupporta ama-emotions wethu. Singa master lento leyo okwazi ukulawula ama-emotions impilo siyakwazi ukuyiwina ngoba nalapho kungamelanga kuvuse kube wonke umuntu uvunyelwe ukuthi azonde but indlela ozonda ngayo iyo oyikhethayo ukuthi uzonda uphakamisa isikhali uzonda ukuchisa umuzi uzonda uyenzeni yabona konke lokho kulawulwa yini emotional intelligence spirituality ukuthi umuntu ongaphakathi kwakho usifike lapha wakhuluma lawo wasekuxoxela ini uyayibona leyo nto. So ingakho nanoma kufiwe uzathola omunye umuntu engakhali kodwa ibhokisi lisehla phansi ngelika next to him kuyabe kunomfowabo yabe qhinqa isililo esinzima. Then abantu mabebheka bathu bana ayi ulesibindi wayengakhali. No, it's not ukuthi akabuza ubuhlungu. Ube nendlela yokuthi akwazi ukuyamukela ngayo umuzwa lwana. Funa in a long run nguye lo muntu ongamhlala umuzwa sithi ayi ukuba mama uyaphila. But the very same person wayengakhali the day ibhokisi linjani lisehla. So it depends ukuthi umqondo umqondo sakho simi kanjani. Then bese siza ngapha ku physical yokugcina engiyogcina ngayo la because isikhathi vile sincane kakhulu. I-fitness indlela esidla ngayo iyalidela ukuthi sizithole sinjani indlela esiphila ngayo futhi mhlawumbe isithole sesikhulume kabi kumbe singane singabantu abangaphili kahle. I-task enzoyinikeza wonke umuntu including me khona la. Phuma namhlanje uye ekhaya uyoyenza research yokuthi from kubamba wakho uhlomkhulu usiyemuva nabogogo bakho abantu othola amajini zabo babulawa yini. Izifo ezibalibuleleyo mostly yiziphi izifo ezigijima kakhulu kuma genes wangakini because wena unguyihlo. Lokana sengeke ukutshintshe singagubha amathambo kayihlo omkhulu wafa 8 generation back sidinga i-DNA namhlanje lokuyinto enjani lokusase into efanayo. So uma ubaba emuva khona ngale beside izimpi whatever ama genes wona lana olokhu wathule namhlanje izifo ezilokhu ezisagijima ngale zisagijima lakithi namhlanje. But ngenxa yokusweleka kolwazi sizithola sesigula izinto eziningi la, but singawu researcher sibekwazi then sesithola indlela yokuthi sikwazi ukushaya prevention okudelaya ukuthi kungasiphathi masinyane ngoba sisenkingeni lana ukuthi umuntu kulezi nsuku umuntu between age of 30 kusiya ku 45 siku stage lesana soku accumulate what is called ama chronic diseases. Abanye already vele before umuntu afika isi40 secha amaphilizi ya high blood, amaphilizi ya diabetes, into zonke leziyana. Okunye ukuthola ukuthi is genetical part. Okunye of course is part of ukudla esinjani esikudlayo namhlanje ngoba kunjani kulinyaziwe. So ngizokusho ngaphandle kokwesaba ama genes wethu ayaba nakho ukuthi abe tempered with because of ukudla esikudlayo, and ukudla esikudlayo kwenziwe ngabomo kulezi nsuku because of it's a business kwabanye abantu. Beka into esade singayenzi before besingathenga inhlanyelo emakhaya every year besisebenzisa naliyana sithathe unapanathi silimile space itshale iphinde ivuthe, but lesithenga namhlanje uyafika utshala kuyavunwa but ungathi phinda next year ayizali okumili ngamila but ukuzala ayizali. So when we put such kind of things emzimbeni yethu kuyalimaza i-physical state yethu, and ayikho indlela esingagwema ngayo ngoba vele siphila emhlabeni onjalo silongo sila egola kulanto esingayenza, but thina as African people ke kumele sikuzwisise ukuthi okay ikuphi unye esingakwenza phezulu kokujima esingaba nakho physically. Ake si study genealogy yethu ukuthi ubaba wathathwa yini, umkhulu wathathwa yini, ugogo wathathwa yini, kanje wathathwa yini, and then leya nto lena izasenza ukuthi sikwazi ukuprolonga ama chronic diseases lapha siwadile ngamasinyane yebo ba.
Manje lapha sile challenge phela yokustudy i-genealogy of ide ngoba bonke babulwa eTakati.
Now sebungozi.
Yebo ngivumelana lawo umoya laphana kodwa ke masingakafika isigabeni lesiyana singakudinga ukuthola nawe usihlanganisa ingqondo logical ukuthi okay man into ngabe yayihlasela lapha ngaba into esona so kuyasincedisa lokhuyana baba umoya. So basically yikho lapha umuntu isimo somqondo sakhe sigijima khona ngoba indoda nayo mangaseko strong la physically kulimaza ini umqondo la kube sokulimaza ama emotions uyayibona. Biology adithi into ngoba bundazi lapha yana ithi indoda kumele at least a month even at 21 ejaculations a month 21 ejaculations uyabona. So bangaka abantu othola besebesakwazi ukuthi bekwenelisi khona lokhuyana, abanye bengakwenziwa ukuthi mhlawumbe amandla wekho but belinyazwa ngama emotions and stuff then egcine ngasafika ngalaphayana. So uma ngasafika ngalaphayana sephosa I danger to I prostate yakhe. Nini ukuthiwa indoda sene prostate issue ukuchitha kumele 21 kumele uchithe at least ka 21 uchama in a month. Yes kumele uhlangane impela lo mama uchame ka 21.
Ngifuna ukubuyisela kuleyo nto ukuthi with one woman can so I'm answering because we are at 7 days to 10 days ekuphi yena hayi ngizamubonisa uyakuncishwe how many times
singabuza amanye amadoda emzini yena le khona namhlanje kulomunye umuntu uzawuthi uyaqeda iviki umama engekho ensukwini zakhe bephilile be right bendawonye phela aqede impela iviki because of stress. Yes yabona because of stress emotions umama naye uthi ngikhathele kuphi last week kunomama ovakashela la ngisebenzela khona ethi uzofunela something indoda amandla ngathi asekho kahle. Ngithi okay manje ngoba lento ngiyamadoda wona uzoyenzani ngayo uthi hayi ngizothola indlela ukuthi ngimfakele yona. Nto okay hamba ke ngisasa unikeze ini unikeze i-feedback uthi hayi ngizoyenza nge-Friday ngoba vele phakathi keviki lomuntu lo noma ngathini akafuni ukuthi siyenze uyabona uyabona le nto leyana but you may find ukuthi
amanamba akho nawo
ingozi yona leyana so we really need ukuthi sikukhangele konke lokhuyana so zonke lezi zinto ziyalidela to ukuthi ubaba abanani abe ne-depression ubaba sesiba ne-stress so ungaba depressed ama-energies wakho emzimbeni awalayini kakuhle awalayini kakuhle sifana nefoni leyana esebenza ma ise-charging uyabona so the moment kungena i-call uthi uyayikhipha e-charging uthi uyayi-answer isi-drop ama-percentage yephansi so these things ziyasebenzisana ziya-aligna kakuhle but above all sibulawa yini i-peer pressure ekhona ku-society so obaba ma bengafunda ukwamukela isimo nje umuntu ayiso sona and then naye engafaki pressure ku-computer mfuna nabanye ubaba mhlawumbe ngenxa yamama esemqhathanisa nzima ukuthi maybe wona sondoda enough mina nginje kulabantu engifundela abasebenza ngama-millionaires noted but mina ngingakabi yi-millionaire uyabona so into zonke lenzana ziyenza ukuthi indoda icabange nzima nabantu abasuka bekwazi umama maybe uyakwazi kanti wona ngoba ufunda lo ubani waye nje so ungekho laphayana is-pressure naleyana nesiyana isandla laphana
Okay, ngiyabonga mfowethu. Yazi ukuthi i-Western culture isuka kwesinye isikhathi ichayisane namasiko. Yabona, I have a feeling that they want us to know. Yeah, I understand the peer pressure and stuff, but sometimes they are teaching that you accept what you are, but that's not how the African culture is taught us. African culture has always taught us to, as a man, to work hard. Understand? Work hard and achieve your dream. But I have a problem when you say we must accept the situation here with Linda. Do you understand? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I might be lost, but I
Okay.
feel like
i-acceptance lana oyenzayo yini asukuthi kuvuma ukuthi ngilapho then awusenamzamo omunye owenzayo but before ufike lapha ufuna ufika khona i-pressure leyana mayingabi lana icina sikwenza uzibone ngathi you are not a man enough wena bamba i-positive side ungabambi le i-negative side ngoba i-negative side yiyo icina sikulimaza maybe suziphusha ngamandla kanti yonke into idinga ukuthi ihambe on time ngicabanga ukuthi siyavala ngawe lapho ngibonisana okay
ngifuna ukugcizelela kwakho ku-comparison ukuthi ucompare sometimes kuya ku-encourage ukuthi wenze something but sometimes kuyingozi futhi and sometimes akumake sense because omunye umuntu wafunda la uthola ukuthi nawe-millionaire but abanye wafunda labo ngabantu asebashonayo so uyabona ukuthi
yes so ngokunjalo in a nutshell ngicabanga ukuthi khona lokho ngoba sizabe sithola elinye ithuba ngelanga sizabe sikudiscussa more sesikumunye nasebuya nepoint yakhe omunye naye buya nepoint yakhe ingakho ngithe angifuni ukuye entweni ezibhalwe phansi ngoba into ezibhalwe phansi ngomunye la yabe iqhamuka ne-system yakhe yabe istarte ngeyakhe indlela but i-experience is the best teacher ever ukudlula zonke izinto so masingazi mina ngikhalela kakhulu la umuntu yabe ngasenanto ikhuluma kuye iyingozi because iyamenza ukuthi vele alimale zonke indawo and lento lena sicabanga every time sihlala sixhumanisa ne-religion kanti ayikho lapha lento inguwe direct lento le so ngiyabonga kakhulu okay wozume lapho kwenzela ukuthi abone ukuthi isikhathi sihambile
madoda mina nginesicelo isicelo kunaso emadodeni lokho esikwenze lapha ngiyakubonga kokuqala yisicelo enginaso emadodeni samadoda silimele kakhulu and no one actually takes any initiative ukuthi akakhulume ngokulimala kwamadoda silimele kakhulu samadoda emicabangweni emsebenzini sivalelwe each and every aspect and that we can think of is closed for us. For instance, I will give you just one brand in South Africa, which is a Pick n Pay. Tell me how many outlets do they have. When I did my own research, there are about 2,000 outlets. There is not even one man who's a cashier. So how many shifts do they have? And then take any other retails and all that. When I say, no one is concerned about the men. And like now, Uba for 8 years now, in an African culture. First of all, we do not have a culture in Africa. We have a tradition.
A tradition.
But no one speaks of our tradition, values, and principles anymore. So says how then do we deliver? And if we are touching the spirituality part of it, today someone who's a spirituality should be a prophet or should be a Sangoma, which is it is not.
It's not.
So mina isifiso sami nesicelo sami ukuthi abafazi asibabongele who have given us this platform. Number one. But let us take it from here as men to restore our true identity. All our ideas that we have, now we've got a business concept that we have registered a company, then they say to you, forcefully, democratic society system, why in an emphasis, organization, as part of the directors. Okay, things like it is a man who is actually marrying a woman, Olobola in Faz. But now this society is empowering more women than men. So also Tato Money Mova. Who? You understand?
Hey.
Leon Dolo is here because it's like Faz out there. Some of us who are so weak from that spiritual point of view, they pretend to be gays. Some of them now they've said, you know what? Ukuze ngibe yindoda forceful whatever ngibe lesaka le man ithi ngiyophulo omunye umuntu isikopho cash has inkunzi kama umuntu ngefoni and everything like that omunye you know what life is sucks usemunyawupe
amadoda wonke agcwele ngonyawupe.
So mina ngiyacela ukuthi let us all rise, invest these couple of hours that we invested, sike si debate about the men. We will penetrate having an identity, and it's very important. Religions and all these are the things that they were posed in us. Abelungu, they've got their own isikriza was a culture. Look at the Bible. The Bible is a family affair, which back then was a food of Abraham, Thessalonica. Where do you get them when you say we are? Why do you read about Paul and Genetian? But you do not read about the Basilica as Mom or Joshua and everything like that. But says the better lives for us. So
Siyabonga kakhulu. Siyabonga Nkosana. Siyabonga.
We thank you so much. Hey, I'm used to addressing our podcast spaces by calling you comrades. So we've come to the end of our program. On the question sexual production. Umdadu present unfortunately didn't make it, but I think it's one of the things that we are going to discuss on our WhatsApp group that I'm going to create as soon as we are done with this program, so that into the lesiziphuzayo wake bakhuma eCongo dust hambile research and all these concoctions that Nigerians are selling to us. Does it really work? Is it healthy for us to consume? Go to any spaza shop. Amaphilisi lana khona, are they healthy for us to consume? Is it something okumele ngabe siyayenza? So there are a lot of things that I think as brothers we can share for our well-being and ukuthi singagcini sezibona sesilimele. Qiniso uzala umntwana onesandla esitshekile. Kuthiwa khona umngane wami etlonga indlela amubi ngakhona abona ngathi umntwana wembiza. So it's these jokes that are now out there because so I think some of these topics we're going to be engaging them as we come across them on our WhatsApp group, and then probably one of these days we are going to meet again and have a session because we really have an identity crisis. The other day, emakhandeni Fort Rixen nan onubuya kuphi sengiqala ukunwa ekhanda manje uthi mina ngasekhaya kusogwala kuphela elwagwelo, but then kuthi ngisho manje ukuthi abantu after ukhulu wami ngobani I failed to do that. Akhula kobulawa abanqeda ngabuye eGoli abadala bengekho, so it's an identity crisis. Umntwana mongifana nje umtshela ukuthi ngoba oyena unguba. How is he going to identify himself? Egcina selimala la. Egcina semphathela umkhwenyana engumfana. So into ezinjalo, I think we must empower ourselves. Singalindi omama ukuthi bese invite to come and discuss and have a women's dialogue. I understand it's busy, sidinga imali, but let's just sacrifice a few hours to come and empower ourselves. Ngizocela advocate uLeya abuye ngamafishane nje uzovalelisa, and then hambe yocela omama ngale nabo ukuthi bezosivalelisa, and then sesingahlukana. Thank you very much.
Hayi sizwile siyazi vele we know and we are quiet. Siyazi ukuthi lapha elikhona aliphathekanga kahle. But just before he appeared to Moses on the mountain, I'm going to recite a Jewish mythology. He said, I've heard the cry of my people in Egypt. Kujuguti, apart from what we believe that maybe he sees us all the time, maybe kukhona umuntu omtshelayo, because uthi uzwile ukukhala akabonanga. Umuntu akalahlwa, isintu sitsho njalo. Noma ungahlupheka kanjani lapho khona, kuyabe kukhona abakini kwenye indawo. It's just a matter of ukumemeza, then we'll come running, we'll rally behind you, we'll talk to you. No one was born for a woman here. A lot of people that whose philosophies you are reading about or learning about now were not married. One of the people that whose philosophies as Palayo made me what I am and made me what I have in life. Mina ngasebenza mostly ama-sciences when I was still working. La manje ngiyake ngibizwe recently ngibizwe Northwest ngisiyafundisa science. I make science laboratories. He got married, wazala umntwana, but he ended up eqochile umfazi wakhe lelokhuzeni kuthiwa ngu-Einstein liyamanza ngithi. Waqocha umfazi wakhe lo mntwana wathi bambangela umsindo. There is nothing special about having a woman in your life. Sometimes maybe uNkulunkulu wayenzela ukuthi ubuye lapha uzosihlahlela indlela. Mawusihlahlela indlela isikhathi esiningi ufanele ube wedwa. Lalo imythology leju eyamaJuda engeke ngayikhotha right now when I started here, it says kungcono ukuthi uhlale phezulu kwendlu ekhoneni than ukuthi ube lo mfazi obanga umsindo usuku lemini. So none of you is attached to a female species on this planet. Makusehlula yekela bengakubuza ukuthi uyekelele umuntu bathe uthi unile utsho njalo. Thengiyekela. Mina I'm 50 years old. I got married this year. Yeah. So there is nothing special ngokuthi ube lo mfazi. Unfortunately, ubongani usehambile. There was one drama that he wrote at one point. Kwakuthiwa wena lokholo lwakho. I remember one of the conversations there. This person comes there, abachumayela. Ethe seqeda ubachumayela ngoJesu, omunye uba manje baphuza utshwala lapha. Omunye ubaba bese buza ukuthi uJesu lo manje umkakhe wayengwakuphi? Athi wayengela mfazi. Athi ndoda West isikhathi sethu sokuthi sibe sinatha utshwala lapho sitshela ngensumbelumi. So in African culture it looks like there is something like my king was saying there. Ukuthi there is something attached ekuthini siyathi sesiyenze everything. But umuntu wakhonakala mfazi. You know, sometimes you don't need the drama. You don't need the drama. Do what you came here for and leave this planet without umfazi. Makuthi kuyehlula. Otherwise, we will lose you, siluzela leyo nto owawuvela uyilethelwe lapha emhlabeni. Njengoba ngichilo umuntu akalahlwa sikhona abakini masokusehlula memeza mina mangafika mawungantshela istory ngizwa ngathi akusebenze ngiyadiyeka. I'm the only person oza kuthi uthi miyekele. Futhi angifuni ukuthi ngimhlebe ngifune khonapho lami ithiya. So that's what we are saying uthi guys, we are there, we have these platforms like my other brothers who came first said, we need a lot of these platforms, not as arrangwe yibo abantu esidiscussa ngabo, but as arrangwe yithi. Apart from that, we are also going to have very soon, I lead an organization called the Phoenix Foundation of Zimbabwe, which also has got it's got human resources, human rights, politics, business, and education. Under business, we are going to have a platform like this very soon, maybe here, where we are going to discuss men and the economy. Again, sikhulume ngokuthi alright, what is it that we are supposed to do ukuze bona lawa abantu bengasihluphi sigcine sesiba lama problems, because most of these problems emanate from one thing: women want money. Asila. So let's one day come, like our brothers were saying, we need our own platforms. Let's come here and discuss. Like my brother was saying, spirituality that he was talking about is connected to how you harvest from the economy, which we call your destiny. Into ofanele ukuthi uzoyisebenza lapha emhlabeni i-connected la lento le. Asike sibuye si discuss ukuthi how do I find out ukuthi mina ngalandani lapha emhlabeni. Mina I discovered later in life. Mina vele ngangalanda ukuzosebenza la. Because mina vele umlungu mangiqala ukusebenza second day sikhuluma ukuthi afutheke wena. Because ngabona ukuthi vele kuthi uthi vele mina angibunjelwa ngusebenza. So let's help each other and find ways of finding out masinyane ungaka waste isikhathi ucina usiba lama criminal records uzuchaya umnikazi wecompany ngani. What we came here for. Together here we've got a lot of stuff that we need to discuss as men, and at the end of everything masinga discuss kahle izinto eziqondane lathi, you'll find that there is no reason for you to commit suicide because of a woman, because you'll know ukuthi unhle uhlezi lapha into kufanele ngimiyenze emhlabeni yezayenza ekandle ihambe. So I don't need to die for this woman. My brother is waiting there with his own destiny emelele eyami. All right, let's not say a lot of things. Kuthiwani likhumbuze namhlanje is the beginning of 16 days of activism against abuse on women and children. Ngicela linanzelele lapha elikhona lizalimala. Libayekele abafazi labo mama ngithi.
Ezintweni ezizabuya ngokuzayo. Nisilethele indlela yokudiscussa laba abantwana ababuya nabo mama nabethu omama abasithola sinabo ukuthi sibalansisa njani ngoba sesinithi sicala likhulu kakhulu ukuthi wabona asithanda abantwana babo mama.
Alright, yeah. Lapho ke yikho ngifuna inkosi yami leyana ngizayihlanganisa labantu bakwaZulu Natal. Bazolitshela kahle ukuthi vele umntwana mayebuye kwenye indawo ubikwa njani ngakini, because lwana umuntu mina ngakithi uyawathi ngeke ngimthatha umfazi lomntwana la ngihambela yelala lapha ekumbini lika baba. Mina my father died in 1998. My daughter tells me on WhatsApp ukuthi baba manje sengihamba kukhulu. She goes there and visits there, brings photos. Mina ngilomna wami ongumfana ondlandelayo. He died in 1979. He has been sending messages through my daughter to me. Mina mangalalisa umuntu ongaziwayo ngikhala pa uyavuka efile bayamkhama mabebuya because abamazi bona babe sithi ba protector thina. So there is a way by which umntwana obuye lo mama is reported to the, because umuntu uphila kabili, like my brother was saying, you've got a spiritual side and a physical side. Whatever I have in the physical side kufanele abe spiritual side babekwazi to protect it. Mina ngalala la laphana ngikhaya ngakithi uyavuka efile bayamkhama mabebuya bezosivakatshela. Bona babecabanga ukuthi ngumuntu ozosiloya kumbozo ozotshontsha. Mina, I'll tell you a story. It's not fiction. My mother came here last year during this time for Christmas. Sasicela omunye umfana ukuthi agcine indlu. Umfana lona uthi wayefuna ukuhlakanipha. Wayefuna ukutshontsha incwadi yendlu, I think eyitshintshise banganini wakhe ngani. Do you know ukuthi indlu incwadi lana yalahleka? Ubaba told umna wami oyintombazana like who is spiritually ukuthi umama wakho akasoza ayibona incwadi ngizayiletha yime ngayithathayo kodwa before ngiyiletha to show ukuthi yime kade ngiyithethe umama wenu uzalahlekelwa isicathulo wamdescribe lesicathulo wamtshela umama wangabelieve isicathulo sa disappear ilanga okwa disappear ngawo isicathulo umama wathi edonsa izinto wayesedinge wadinga yena wayecabanga ukuthi itshontshwe ngumfana lwana ochiwe kanti yayithethe incwadi leyana ukuthi umfana lwana ngayithola wathi edonsa izinto esithi udinga isicathulo bethola incwadi leyo after 2 days isicathulo sasesikole. So I'm talking about real things that happen. Lizabulalisa abantwana babantu asomntwana akho lwana isitha sakho ulimbike kahle uyakwazi umoya into engikhuluma ngayo uyabikwa umuntu abe ngowalapha ekhaya. Ngiyabonga.
Okay, just for the purposes of the video lay, I was recording. I think labanye lebona lapha. Abayifuna you just tell me, we'll find a way of lithole. Mawufuna the whole part or mawufuna the part la ukhona, we'll try and make it a point. Ingeza boma as sesiqedile nje.
It's been a long day, and I'm very, very curious. I know I'll pick my notes obunye, but I would like to say thank you. I have no words to thank you. In the light of 16 days of activism, this is the first time I've ever, as an activist, celebrated or commemorated this day with men. Can you give yourselves a round of applause for being here? I would like to thank every one of you for coming here, for taking your time, because gender-based violence and mental health affects all of us. And oftentimes misinterpret the gender part as referring to women. And the things that men go through, maybe sometimes when you really speak to them, when you really sit down and speak to them, it's even worse. So now we can speak to each other. I can meet a woman at texting, but with you guys, it's not that easy. But for the fact that you understood that you have to be somewhere, it means a lot. The first day activism against gender-based violence for women and against gender-based violence for girls and women, for me, it spells out a lot about how much you guys care about yourselves and even about your partners, because probably whatever you discussed also touches on your life with the other gender. So I'm really humbled, and for believing in what we do. You didn't think twice, namhla 25, Black Friday, no, I can't go there. It means a lot. But I would like to say, like, we have never really met we've never met him. So on our Facebook, groups and all, but it took his time. But he sacrificed. I'm going to do this so that I pass the information that people need. I empower abanye so that when they live at the star, the 4th floor, today they live at different people. And I can tell, well, some of you have left, but I could tell, I even said to Ms. Dinlea, the smiles on these guys' faces. I'm curious to know, and I'm really very, very grateful. We learn from each other and we build each other up, because one thing, a mistake is you would say if there is a problem, if I'm violated, gender-based violence, because we're activists, ngeyethu sonke, it will affect our kids. I've got boy children. They have to know ukuthi nabo they get affected and they have to be gentle towards their partners. So siyabonga kakhulu babunleya. I meet your busy schedule because sometimes saba nokufonela ekuseni ukuthi uzothi hayi sengile meeting mina. But thank you for believing in us. Thank you for the encouragement you gave us. Thank you for, like, I can take all day. Ishmael, you are not just a friend. You have become a brother in a way, because for you to come here and do all these things, so charge about 10,000 for these things. But then, well, maybe one day we'll just offer 20,000. City was. And to Comrade Lindani, thank you so much, my leader. That's how we call each other. We call each other leadership, my leader, so don't be surprised we're both leaders, and that's how we address each other. Lonke, engaliqambanga, but umbuyiseli, utheka safuna ubizwa ngento ziligama leshop. Siyabonga kakhulu but I'm like, you sacrificed a lot and you're always encouraging us. I remember the one day, I won't get into detail, when you encouraged me, which I've been trying this and that, I think I can't do this. You will remember the day vividly, telling me, God has a purpose, why he gave you this. Thank you so much. We are here to thank you individually. You're such an amazing people. And I'm quite emotional right now because I wasn't sure if you would show up, what you would say, and it was just wow. I could tell. It was wow. Supporter with the work we do, it's not easy. Attending to gender-based violence issues. It's not easy to attend to anything. Yesterday, in time, figure flating, security practices. Why you figure late? And I didn't know where to follow up. And they refused to tell me what was happening. But wrong. I'm trying to understand. So these are the things we have to work together. Take this to the buildings that we live in. Educate other people. As for the star building. There is a case that touches me. Holiday, please educate other men about just gender-based violence. There is a 9-year-old child who operated was a and it turns out it's a relative from the way the story is trending. She's 9. The trauma, a pregnancy. The trauma you stigmatize or age, who is she living with? Which means these people are ignorant to an extent to cesarean at 9 years old. So we need that. We need to take this home. We need to take this to schools. Thank you very much. Lingatino Laksasa, ADF staff and Sababon won't but Sababonga in their absence because they are the reason we managed to always get evaluated because by virtue of working in the same space with them. Sharon, thank you for while I was running like a headless chicken over the stress with Cecilia, but Mali Bambisana, that's always the case. I will thank her in her absence. She was over the phone like 24 hours. I check her, guys, are you okay? Guys, is it working out? You know the panic. But the one thing I know about Nobile Vigile, we come a long way as individuals. So as in Genisa Kuma spaces, last one because we want ukuthi into le ingapheleli la South Africa. Sifuna ukuthi everywhere else people get educated ngalokho esikwenzayo so that we fight this scourge together. The second pandemic is not only in South Africa. Everywhere GBV is a second pandemic. But siyabonga ukuthi nizile. We hope asoze siqede lapha. One day sizabe sile celebrate objectives when sokuna changes after today's discussion. Ngiyabonga.
I think as the ED, I was ED today, the event director. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to work for Uchilin. I think I'm one of the youngest in the crowd, but the way we're interacting our corner, we're interacting as brothers, as compatriots, as comrades. It's my first event as the ED, so I'm hoping for future contracts to come. Thank you very much.